Like B.B. King, Tom Petty, and Bob Dylan. Everything worth listening to is now on Sirius and XM. Find out more at Sirius.com and XMRadio.com.
The Jay Thomas Show. Jay Thomas. Stars 2. The curious. The extreme. The fascinating. Jay Thomas is on the new Stars 2. Sirius 108 and XM 139.
Hey, the Jay Thomas Show at Sirius 108 and XM 139. For many of you that have been listening for almost 4 years now to the Jay Thomas Show on various channels, I'm like a utility infielder. I think I started on 146. Then we moved to 144. Sean, do you know all the numbers we've been at?
No, I think it was 146 and then 148 and then down to 102 and now here.
That's right. 146, 148.
It's like, do you remember all your locker combinations?
Close to that. Right. And Sean Kelly's been the executive producer since we spirited him away from Radio Shack. Garrett Andritz is the third or fourth technical producer of the show. We had Lou Pellegrino here at one time and made the biggest mistake of my life with Lou Pellegrino.
Stared directly into his forehead?
Mm-mm.
What?
Saved his job. Biggest mistake of my life. Kept him around.
That's right.
They fired him. We had our chance.
I remember. I just started working here when that happened.
Shuli, by the way, many of you may know from Howard 100 News or Howard 101, where on Friday mornings, the Anointed One asked me a few months back to do the morning show there, which we do live, 7 to 10 Eastern time. So that's see, we're introducing ourselves again, Shuli, because we're on a new channel or new channels. No one at XM's ever heard of us.
We're in a new studio here.
That's right.
I mean, we're the real deal now.
Mm-hmm,
This is awesome.
Mm-hmm. And Maxim used to be here, and we're getting some Maxim callers. And it's that, the first few days, the first couple of weeks, the you suck. Who are you? Who do you think you are? What is this show about? And all of that nonsense.
Well, hopefully now that I'm on the show, those will triple today.
That's right. So, yeah, because when you first joined me, over a year or so ago, people hated your guts also. What was fun about it was it kind of deflected the hatred from me.
It was a change. It was a nice change of pace for you.
I felt like I was Barack Obama. Change is coming. So call us at 888-4-102-102. We're on Sirius 108. I know there are a lot of numbers to remember. For those of you on XM, there was never a channel 139 on XM before. 140 is ESPN. And we have to hope that by some accident, your finger messes up and you
sneeze when you're tuning in or something and you accidentally...
Yeah, you're going down the line, and all of a sudden you hear voices, and you go, "Oh, what's that?" It's like going downstairs at night when you hear a noise.
Uh-huh.
That's what we are. So, but we have it, and also they're calling us Sirius Stars 2, TOO.
Sweet.
That's not going to be the name of the channel. It's going to be something else. I don't know what it's going to be. But they're talking about it and stuff. But Shuli, I have a lot to talk to you about. We want to introduce you to everybody. And what's amazing is a guy said to me one time, to be really successful, you need somebody who is blindly loyal to you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You need somebody else who has no interest in moving any further than they've already gotten, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. So I've got Sean, blindly loyal. I have Garrett, who has no ambition whatsoever.
No drive.
And the third thing is a person that wants your job. And if you have those three people in your crew, then you have a good chance of success. I'm not kidding.
There's also a good chance for a murder triangle, murder-suicide type thing.
So I am very concerned about taking time off, and especially with the Howard 101 channel and all of that, and the introducing and all. So I make myself available. I call them up and I say, listen, I know that a lot of people are taking time off and the company's giving extra time and everything else. Day after Christmas and the day after New Year's, you can expect the Jay Thomas Show live on the radio, especially at that Howard 101 channel. And the big muckety-muck there says, you're not needed during those days. In fact, relax, enjoy yourself. I said, what do you mean?
Thank God.
Well, apparently the Shuley Miserable Men Show, which was 2 hours of bad radio, has been expanded to 4 hours of bad radio, which is the hallmark of many of the channels at Sirius XM, by the way.
I can't argue with that.
It's now 4 hours of bad radio, but 4 hours of underpaid radio. By the way, you get what you pay for there at that show. So they said, no, we're not going to need you. Shuley's Miserable Men Show will be on the whole Christmas week, the entire Christmas week.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Apparently Howard doesn't care how badly you hurt his channel. And then I said, well, I would rather be live the day after Christmas, it's a big sales day, right? A return day or whatever it is, right? You're Jewish, you wouldn't know about that. So
sales? What, are you kidding me? That's in my blood.
And he says, no, gonna have that Miserable Men Show on there.
What do you know about that?
So then I said, well, how about the 2nd of January? Nope, got it covered. Got that covered too. So I think that, you've given the term pushy Jew you've actually made it a bad name. So that's it. So is that going well for you, the Miserable Men? And it's on Sunday nights normally, is that it?
Yeah, Sundays from 7 to 11. And it's going very well. I guess.
We also, I guess it is. Also, they pay you hardly nothing, right?
Yeah, a little less.
But that's what they love. They love talent that doesn't ask for much.
Hey,
they
listen,
like that.
This milk's for free, and no one's even thinking of buying the cow.
No one. Not even putting it down. In fact, this cow is like it's in, Mumbai. Yeah. No one's touching this cow.
This cow has a tap on it, and people are just walking by, hammering it down, and continue walking.
So anyway, we're here, and also if you want to hear a rerun of this show at any time, I don't know why you'd want to do that. It's on from 9 to midnight, and then again at 3 o'clock in the morning. Someone said it's like 9 hours, but it is Sirius 108 and then XM 139. I thought it was interesting. I don't know if you saw this or not, but they have hijacked another in Somalia, which has not had a viable government since 1991. They have not had anybody that ran anything in Somalia, and it's it's a huge country. If you look at it on a map, it's absolutely, it's gigantic. And since 1990, that's almost like Mississippi, it's just running on its own, right? Nobody's running it. and so these what are they? These pirates, they go out in these speedboats, and you've been next to a tanker, haven't you, Shuley? Have you ever, you go out to the dock or something, and they overtake it with speedboats. And
makes
and
no
small
sense.
Arms.
Like, what? Do they have ramps set up and they jump the boat into the ship? I mean, I don't understand how this ship, like the wake of a tanker, of a big ship, is enough to go over the top of a speedboat.
But they ride up next to it and they brandish rocket launchers and machine guns and stuff, and you can see them coming for miles. I have like a 25-foot boat. We have radar in the boat. I can set it for 5 miles, and I can see little blips, coming at you. So you can set it for a half a mile or whatever, but you can see stuff coming, right?
Yeah.
So this giant tanker is out 400 miles, and a trawler takes these Somalian pirates out, and then they let the little speedboats off. They've already got 44, I think they've got 44 boats that they've captured. Ships, giant ships, and 25 still haven't, been paid ransom. Mm-hmm. And they were so stupid in the beginning that they took like $50,000. They didn't know what anything was worth. And then they went to, I don't know what. One of them has tanks and rockets and missiles that are going, I guess, to, I don't know where, Saudi Arabia or something. They say, we don't even want those. We just want $1 million, and we'll let the thing go. This one that they've got has 2 million gallons of fuel, crude oil in it. And they went out and they took it over and they've sailed it back to the thing. And the name of the ship is the Sirius Star.
Whoa, that's awesome.
This merger thing has gotten completely out of hand.
You know how much that would cost for PR like that? Are you kidding me?
And for many of you, if you'd like to hear the negotiations, they're on XM 138. I'd like to just tune over to that. But isn't that how? You know what? How do they do it? How do they get up there? How do they climb up the big, like the side of the thing? And what are they threatening? They're gonna, first of all, the tanker has a double. I believe it's like a double hulled thing, So even to get to the fuel to shoot a rocket into the side of the tanker, I don't know what the deal is. But and then the Navy is out there. Right? So the other day, the Indian Navy went out and they just sunk, first of all, you see a Somalian in a speedboat.
Come on.
He's not, it's not the weekend.
Need boarding? Come on.
Yeah. That's right. So they started
sinking. Wakeboarding out there on a big banana float tube.
But I thought that was interesting, didn't you? That it was the Sirius Star. And, you wonder, any publicity's good, right? Even though, it's like,
I heard that
Send them a T-shirt, Sean. Send them a Jay Thomas Show T-shirt. Send the Pirates a Jay Thomas Show T-shirt.
That's nothing. I heard the Dog Psychic SWAT team is going to bust in there and just settle the whole thing.
That's right.
It's Sonia Fitzpatrick, run, man! I don't know if that's a Somali, but that's the best I got.
There is, every voice you do is Israeli. There was a great thing on the History Channel about pirates. Bluebeard, Blackbeard, Jean Lafitte from my home state of Louisiana. And so pirates were a huge part of this country's history, and they were, romanticized and everything else. But they're really evil, murderous people. Like these guys are really murderous people.
You wouldn't expect it from a guy named Jean Lafitte, who sounds like he lost the cool pirate lottery, cool pirate name lottery. Blackbeard, Bluebeard, Jean Lafitte.
Jean Lafitte. But
sounds like a French teacher.
But some of them were little tiny guys. Like Jean Lafitte was like about 5 feet tall, You are going to do what I say or you're going to be I'm going to beat you with something. Like, they always would have like Yul Brynner play Jean Lafitte. And he had some sort of Ukrainian accent. I'm thinking, And then there's a place where you drink if you go in the French Quarter called Jean Lafitte's Blacksmith Shop, which was supposed to be the place where he would meet before he would go out and do stuff. And then with Andrew Jackson, the War of 1812 had just ended, but nobody knew that. So the British land, and they're going to attack a little tiny place outside of New Orleans called Chalmette. And they get out of the boats, and Andrew Jackson doesn't have enough people. And so he says to Jean Lafitte, we'll not hang you, we'll not put you in jail, help us fight the British invaders. Mm-hmm. The British had a map that showed there's water, and then there's solid ground, and then there's, New Orleans. But that solid ground was swamp filled with alligators and, animals. And they probably had, believe it or not, not leopards exactly, but, bobcats, wild boar, water moccasins, copper, everything in there. They get out with those uniforms, right? And they sink in the swamp. They're being bitten and eaten and everything else. When they come out onto dry land, Andrew Jackson and Jean Lafitte are waiting for them, and they murder them. They just mow them down, kill every one of them. And that's how Jean Lafitte got pardoned. Did you know this story, Sean?
I did not know. I did not know that, Jay.
Yes, you know. And so they killed him and everything else. And then Andrew Jackson became the president of the United States. Now, the weird thing is the war had been over for like a week, but they couldn't get the message, to anybody. And then they would all, and I don't know if he did anything after that, but then there were women pirates. And if you go on the History Channel sometimes, they show these women pirates, and they were for real. They weren't like in the movies. You remember when a pirate would take a ship over and a woman would be on the ship? And the guy would say, that's bad luck! Like that, right?
Right.
These were real women pirates. And they didn't say it on the History Channel, but they were kind of like Ellen and Rosie O'Donnell. Like Ellen DeGeneres and Rosie O'Donnell. Mm-hmm. They were kind of like man gals, You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Man gals.
Yeah. Shims.
I think that'd be a great pirate movie to show two the lesbian pirates. I think that would be... And they were tough. They would chop guys' heads off. And when they caught them, they killed all the guys, but they just put them in jail, and then they released them. And they... I believe they became lesbian casting directors, if I'm not mistaken. They're at the Little Theater. I don't know why it is, but, it seems like I'm always running into some, big, huge lesbian woman after I do a bit about lesbians on the radio, Well, you don't think you're getting this one, do you, Jay? No, I guess I'm not.
Don't drive by any high school PE classes anytime soon after that rap. You'll run into a lesbian. We had the biggest bull dyke PE teacher in my high school, man.
But they're great, aren't they?
She was the best. She was tougher than any of the male PE coaches we had, and she'd play all the sports with us, and she'd be like, "Come on, you call that a catch? Seen better hands on a clock," and like yelling at kids like that shit.
My sister-in-law, who's not a dyke but should have been one, was fired from being a soccer coach for kicking a girl in her ass really hard.
Really?
She has road rage, and she also goes nuts, and she's also was the basketball coach. She was fired from all of them, strangled a girl, and everything, but she has tenure, so they can't fire her, And she's a big, huge woman and goes completely, absolutely, nuts. And then there are these girls. UC Davis is a pretty big university in California, and it has a big, fraternity and sorority kind of a group, right?
Yeah.
You know what? I was a member of a fraternity at Jacksonville University, but just to play on the flag football team or something. I was never a frat guy. I went to a big... Sean, were you a fraternity guy? You look like you would have been the president or the treasurer of a fraternity.
No, Jay.
There was a chess fraternity, maybe.
You weren't? In Canada, do they even have fraternities? What do they have there? Do they have any?
Yeah, they have fraternities, but I never belonged to one.
Okay. And Garrett, I know you got most of your education, you were homeschooled or something by idiots. I always act like the people that are homeschooled, their parents are so smart. What are you kidding?
His house didn't have a fraternity, Jay.
If they were smart, the parents would have a job, If you got enough time to homeschool your kids, you're a friggin' idiot, right? So, but anyway, so these sorority girls are in UC Davis. This guy sends out these flyers to hundreds of them saying that, there have been these killings and these attacks on these sorority girls.
Mm.
And so...
It's a good icebreaker to meet chicks.
He says, you can buy my self-defense kit for $8. And I'll also give you a lesson, and I'll add another $10 to that. So basically for $20... you get this
hands-on
pepper spray
self-defense course and
right.
equipment.
So Megan Mills was a sorority girl, and she said, he kind of didn't look like a third-degree black belt. He was kind of fat. So this guy, this overweight guy, Julie Quintanilla, said he was really overweight. When I went in there, he didn't have he was hairy and overweight.
They walk in, it's Louis Anderson in a gi.
It's David Portnoy was his name.
Hey, who wants to learn self-defense?
He had scared hundreds of college students into buying his products, and now he has this, this thing. So here's what he does. This is his first lesson. He locks his arm around the woman's upper body.
Of course.
To counter the hole, he instructs the women, he'll do it one at a time, they have to pinch him in the groin.
That's awesome.
Megan said, this is little Megan Mills, by the way, if you go to UC Davis and you see Megan Mills, when you walk by her, go, what an idiot.
Or just attack her if you want your cock pinched.
If you want a penis pinch?
Yeah. I mean, what else does he tell her? Listen, you keep pinching until you see a wet spot. Then you got him.
So Megan says,
if I'm her dad and I just paid her fucking tuition and she's dumb enough to fall for that shit, I'm like, what am I paying her tuition for? What is she going to be with her life? This guy told her to pinch her balls and she did it.
But he's got hundreds of women in this room. He's this big, fat, smelly guy, right? And And so some attendees are now calling him a con artist. Okay.
Ladies, you gotta watch your back. Sometimes a guy will come up behind you and grab you like a bowling ball, like this. Who's ready?
Megan said that he would bring a volunteer's hand back to his groin and demonstrate the pinching of the groin. Many women who were tentative, many sorority women that were tentative, would not reach all the way into the groin. That meant they found the tip of his penis, they found the shaft, and of course his testicles, and he's wearing exactly right. One of those judo gis. Yeah. So there's no blue jeans.
You're seeing a full-on boner.
So these women are not the sharpest knives in the drawer.
That's just my nunchucks, ladies. Calm down.
Unbelievable. He taught them the penis pinch. And they don't know, I guess now what he did was he went and bought a bunch of these products.
Right.
So I don't know if they've arrested him yet or what's going to happen, but I mean, he had a full day.
All right, let's say you're attacked after a shower. Megan, put on this towel. Take everything off. I'm gonna show you how you can defend yourself with a towel and a douche. Ready? Here we go.
Oh, and by the way, he didn't do this, but a good one would have been if you can reach one hand back there and then a reach around all the way in the back, and you gotta finger him in the butt, and then you grab that thing.
Let's say a crazed salad tosser shows up. What are you gonna do, Megan?
All right. It is the Jay Thomas Show. Shuley is here, and it's Sirius 108, and it's XM 139.
Jay Thomas Show. The afternoon drive show on the new Stars 2. Sirius 108 and XM 139. The new Stars 2. Sirius 108, XM 139. Infinity, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. East. Sirius 6 West. Maxim Radio with Covino and Rich. Maxim Radio. Noon to 3 p.m. East. 9 a.m. to noon West. The Jay Thomas Show. 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. East. Noon to 3 West. All shows replayed throughout the day. The new Stars 2. The new Stars 2. Sirius 108 and XM 139.
Did you know the most common cause of blindness in people aged 60 and over is a chronic condition called wet age-related macular degeneration, or AMD? The good news is that wet AMD doesn't happen overnight, though in some people it can develop very quickly. It begins with symptoms including wavy lines, hazy vision, and blurriness. So if you aren't seeing clearly, see an eye doctor and get checked out right away, because early detection followed by proper treatment by a retina specialist is key. This message was brought to you by the American Society of Retina Specialists and Genentech.
Looking to make the most of your holiday budget this year? Sirius and XM can make a little money go a long way. With tons of great new programming choices and radios from just $19.99. It's the perfect gift for anyone on your list. Your brother, the comedian, your sports fanatic dad, or cooking and crafts-loving mom. Sirius XM gives them all front row seats to the most exclusive, star-studded radio entertainment anywhere. Get your holiday shopping out of the way now and take advantage of great subscriber deals on holiday gift packages and great radios like the portable Stiletto or new XMP3.
Just call 866-9-SIRI-XM. That's 866-9-SIRI-XM. Or visit Sirius.com/new radio or XMradio.com/new radio for complete details. So this year, make the most of your holiday budget and let Sirius and XM make your money go a lot further. Everything worth listening to is now on Sirius and XM.
You can live truly debt-free on just the money you already make using my proven system. Let me send you a free tape today that shows you how. Hi, I'm John Commuta, creator of the Transforming Debt into Wealth system. My system doesn't consolidate your debt, it eliminates it, no matter how much debt you have.
I'm completely debt-free now thanks to John Commuta.
Call now and I'll rush you my free tape. Call 1-800-933-1951. That's 1-800-933-1951. 1-800-933-1951.
The Jay Thomas Show. Jay Thomas. Stars 2. The curious. The extreme. The fascinating. Jay Thomas is on the new Stars 2. Sirius 108 and XM 139.
Hey, please go to jthomas.com. You'll find out who I am, who we are. There are pictures of everybody there. Sean, when I come back to New York, but first of all, I broadcast from California, and then I'm in New York a couple of weeks every few months, and then I'm also in New Orleans sometimes at the Mike Church Studios. Mike is still on Sirius Patriot. Is that right? He's a patriot. That means he's right-wing and believes in guns and all that stuff. Shuli is here today. Garrett Andrews and Sean Kelly produce it. Art Sears and Lauren Lieberman. No, that's wrong. She didn't make it. Andrea Bushy. Yeah, she's over there. In a few minutes, we're going to have this guy from Yahoo. He's the movie and entertainment expert.
Cool.
And he keeps coming back on the show, even though we beat the crap out of the guy. And he's going to tell us...
Oh, is this the guy you pissed off that one time?
We've done everything to this guy, and he keeps coming back. I have plans for him today. You know that the CEO, the Chinese guy, Yang, who should have sold Yahoo for $50 billion, but because of his massive asinine ego, decided not to, right? The stock for Yahoo, Sean, what do you think a high for Yahoo would have been? $50 or something?
Yeah, I would think like $50 to $75 in around there.
It's $10 now.
Oofa.
It's like $10.50 or $11 or whatever. They were offered in the summer a $50 billion buyout that would have made everybody immensely rich. And this guy Yang would have continued to be. Now he's a billionaire already, and they just removed him from his own company. Right? I don't think Sean Phillips wants to talk about this, but I mean. Shuli, will you go to see the new Reese Witherspoon, Vince Vaughn Christmas movie? Have you seen that one?
I like Vince Vaughn, but I will not be going to see that, no. I'll
even with your girlfriend, you won't go?
I mean, you know how it goes. If they want to see it, you got to go see it. There's no,
sure you do.
You know,
yeah.
So if it's something she wants to see, then yeah, I'll be watching it with a big fake smile on my face. Going, oh, this was great. I love the scene with the elf, and he was just laughing. That was so cool.
Yeah, but you know, you're always, well, if you ever have children, you'll start going to, God. I think children's films, especially this, it's not even a cartoon anymore. What is it? It's
the CGI thing. Yeah.
Oh, God, it's awful. And then you hate the people that are running the thing, like when you see the people that are running the thing, like what's his name? He was not David Geffen, but the other little guy that ran DreamWorks, Katzenberg.
Oh, Jeffrey Katzenberg.
And you realize that he bought some company, and so they got rid of all of these wonderful artists, right?
Yeah.
So that he can now make everything on a computer,
yeah.
Right? And eventually replace actors with, you know, computerized things. For those of you during the holidays, though, I recommend the Santa Claus movies very highly. I am the Easter Bunny in Santa Claus 2 and Santa Claus 3 with Tim Allen. And people think I'm joking about that, but I'm not. So if you get those, and then at the end of that thing, and I don't get any money for it. I mean, I'll get a little something, I'm sure, and it'll be given to children, my children. And so it's all for the kids. At the end of it, you know, my parts aren't huge, but you'll see me in one of them really making that older woman actress who's still kind of beautiful, Anne Margaret, nervous in Santa Claus 3. And who else is in there? I really loved him a lot. Alan Arkin. He hated my guts. He played the dad in Santa Claus 3. He hated my guts because I would say things to him while I was in the Easter Bunny costume, right? And I would say things about Anne Margaret, you know, her ass or something, you know, because I'm in a costume, right? No one can do anything to me. I'm in a costume. And he doesn't know who I am. He has no idea. He just thought it was some extra guy, you know, in a costume. One day, they drive you around the set in like a little like a golf cart. So it has like 4 or 5 seats, right? So I have this gigantic costume on that's got wires attached to it so my ears can move, my nose can move. It takes 3 hours to get into this thing, you know? So it's hot as hell. I come out of the trailer and I see Alan Arkin sitting by himself. The great actor, Alan Arkin. Do you know who he is, Shuli?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The great actor. He's, and you know, people worship this guy, right? And I do too, as a character actor. I look, And I start to go toward the cart. He gets the driver, goes, go on, go on, go on. Like not to give me a ride.
Wow.
He didn't want to sit with me. So realizing that, I run after the cart going, Alan! As the Easter Bunny. Alan! And of course the driver, you know, this kid, this college guy, right, he goes, shouldn't we stop? No, go on, go on! So finally the guy stops, and I am like in this giant outfit, and I'm huge in the outfit, and you've got to see the movie to see how big I am, and I go, of course I'm dressed as the Easter Bunny, and I go, look like you're trying to run away there for a minute, Alan. You weren't, were you? You know? Oh my God, he hated me. It was fantastic. It was fantastic. So, let's go to Kelly of Bismarck. Is that in North Dakota or South Dakota? Bismarck.
Arkansas.
Oh. Well, there you go.
North or South Arkansas?
You're in West Arkansas. Yeah. Shirley is here. It's the Jay Thomas Show. And, yes, go ahead. Kelly of Bismarck, Arkansas. Go ahead.
Well, this will be my second time to call you, Jay. I talked to you way back when and got the Bill Engvall show from you. Mm-hmm. But I was very glad that you told Friday that you'd be on 108, because I'm not sure we'd ever found you again. So we were excited to know that. But I was kind of wondering what happened to Madison. You talked about everybody else, but you didn't talk about Madison, and we kind of miss her goofy attitude.
She has been having major surgery.
Oh, yeah?
She is getting her entire face fixed. Wait a minute, don't laugh.
That part wasn't a joke.
No, God.
Shirley, back it up here. It's back. Yeah, she's getting her entire face fixed. She didn't have a chin or something. Is that what she was saying?
No, I think she was getting lipo from her chin. Or
no, she
neck,
was getting something put in her chin, too. To push it out.
Yeah. She's getting one of those trays in the airplane that comes down in the seat in front of you. That's getting installed in her chin.
There you go.
And getting her eyes done.
Yes,
and
her
getting
nose.
her face pulled back.
And her nose, too, right, Jay?
Getting her nose done. Right. I mean, it's major surgery. And what I loved about...
What happened when you called?
I called the roommate, went like this. She looks the same.
I love that.
And she kept going, oh, my God. Oh, my God, she looks the same.
You think they just knock people out and wake them up and they got, like, pen marks on their face? They're like, well, we're all done.
Well, no, I think that there are some people that can get fixed and there are others that it's just too bad. I mean, Shirley, you look like who you look like, and you could have surgery night and day. I mean,
it's like you're in a bad.
If you had hair, you would look like a chia pet.
Right. It's you're in a bad car accident, and some cars, as soon as you get out, you go, well, that's a total loss, and then there's some you try to salvage.
And what I suggested to her is to go get, a personality. Go get a personality installed, or lower your sights. That drives her nuts when I tell her to, because she wants to look like someone that will attract these young, handsome guys.
Beefcakes.
Yeah, and it's just, I know this saddens her and all that, but hell, she's probably listening. I hope she's on every, all kind of drugs and stuff. I think she'll be back. Sean, next week she's coming back, or this Friday morning?
Yeah, she'll be back this Friday morning on Howard 101.
We'll find out.
That's going to be a big Friday morning show right there.
What I was going to say is when I come back to the city, we need to take fresh pictures of everybody and put them on the website and all. And have you got the holiday T-shirt ready to go that they can buy there at
Not yet, Jay.
How long is this going to take you?
I don't know.
The holidays are roaring toward us.
I don't know. It's going to take me a while.
It's a simple T-shirt. It says, Merry Christmas. You want to make something of it? Like that.
No, I thought it was Merry Christmas. You got a problem with that.
There, whatever it is. That's good. And put some holly on it,
Yeah, something festive.
Yeah, but I mean, just get it off the internet. Don't make some big...
How about an elf? Can I put an elf on there?
You can do anything. Don't you have the ex-son-in-law or something doing the website?
No, I do all that. I do all those.
Give it to him. I'll pay for it. Just get it done. I paid the guy $1,300 to set the thing up a few months ago or something. Just, money means nothing to me. I want to get the money back. So.
What about an elf riding a reindeer? Is that festive?
All right. Hillary Clinton may not get to be the Secretary of State.
Damn.
Because of the husband.
That's funny.
And yesterday, Shuli, we had a guy on from an Anything Goes nudist club in Australia, and we're in the middle of the thing talking, and he says, well, right up the road is where, Bill Clinton is, like that.
Whoa.
So apparently, Bill hasn't been, now this is alleged, doing anything in the United States, but he's been, all over the world doing stuff. And this woman ought to get rid of him. Hillary ought to get rid of this guy.
He's dead weight. Cut it loose. It's only hurting you at this point.
Yeah. And then did you see the poor woman that stuck with Ted Kennedy? She was like 30 when he married her, like 8 or 10 years ago. Have you seen what she's, for you younger women out there that are with a much older guy because he could buy you dinner or whatever the deal is, or you got a car or whatever it was you married the guy for, it can't be why would you want to be with some old beat up person unless, you got something out of it? He can barely walk. I guess he's on his last legs with the tumor and all that stuff, but she's still young and tall and good looking, Shuli.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the front page of the New York Times, and you see this poor guy. She's got to be hoping he goes quickly.
Can you see her fingers crossed in the picture?
Behind her back.
Right.
She has one hand on his back and her other hand behind her back. So they're big Catholics too, don't you know? Name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit, and take him, let him go into the arms of Jesus,
Tuesday would be good.
They make it sound like it's religious, but it's really, let's go to Mike of Massachusetts. Mike, the Jay Thomas Show. How are you, Mike?
Shalom, bitches.
Oh, Jesus, here we go.
What's up, Mike?
What's going on, guys?
Yesterday we had nothing but drunks call.
I called in last week and sang you a song, and I haven't heard it yet. You said you'd play it during some downtime, and I think I've heard some downtime over the last
week. You sang a song that we were going to replay when the show wasn't going so well.
That's right.
All right. Sean, do you remember that at all? A song that he sang? I kind of remember.
I don't. Sorry.
I do remember a song that he sang. Garrett, this guy called up, and it was to the tune of...
The Cars, I think.
Yeah, what was it to the tune of? I forget, but we'll look for that. And I said, we'll save that, we'll play it later, right?
It was to Surrender, right?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Well,
all right.
Is the guy not on the phone anymore?
No. We, unfortunately, Shuli, we lost him.
That's a shame.
It is a shame. All right.
Those damn cell phone towers.
Stay where you are. We will be checking in. There were write-in votes that were counted, believe it or not. We'll give you those in a little while. And Sean Phillips, who is the Yahoo movie executive and entertainment expert, will talk about the new movies for the holiday season. I can't imagine what they are. I guess they come out like in a week or whatever. Shuli is here. And, of course, this is the Jay Thomas Show at Sirius 108 XM 139.
The Jay Thomas Show. Jay Thomas. Stars 2. The curious. The extreme. The fascinating. Jay Thomas is on the new Stars 2. Sirius 108 and XM 139. On Stars 2, the new morning show is Me and Vinny with Vinny Politan.
Coming up Thursday on Me and Vinny, we'll talk about that case down in Florida. Casey Anthony, the woman with the missing baby Kaylee. What's the status of that case? Also, you can do just about anything with duct tape. And we've got the duct tape experts who are going to join us. Me and Vinny, Thursday.
Me and Vinny, where the me is you. Me and Vinny. Weekday mornings at 6 a.m. East. It's the new morning show on Stars 2, Sirius 108 and XM 139.
What would you do for a Klondike bar? What would you do for a date with a Maxim hottie? Well, I'm Rich Davis. That is Steve Covino. You guys know us from Maxim Radio. Klondike Bar and Maxim Radio are giving 3 lucky listeners the chance to show us exactly what they would do to win a date with Maxim hottie, Taryn Southern. You have to listen to Maxim Radio with us, Covino and Rich, Friday, November 21st, 2 p.m. Eastern, and you find out who wins the date with Taryn and $1,000. Win a date with a Maxim hottie exclusively from Maxim Radio and Klondike. What would you do, for a Klondike Bar and a date with a Maxim hottie?
Can't pay your credit card debt? Now you can drastically reduce your monthly payment and take back control of your finances by making one simple call to Debt Elimination Lawyers. It's that easy. Why take on the credit card companies alone when the lawyers of Debt Elimination can be at your side? We're the #1 debt settlement company because we fight for people like you, saving you potentially tens of thousands of dollars and getting the credit card companies off your back. So call for a free consultation. Immediately, you'll feel an incredible sense of relief. Don't go it alone. We'll spare you the court costs, the headaches, and the stress. In fact, when you learn how easy it is to get rid of your debt, the only thing you're going to regret is that you didn't call us sooner. Debt Elimination Lawyers, because there are better options than bankruptcy.
For a free consultation, call 888-601-5050. That's 888-601-5050. 888-601-5050. 888-601-5050.
If you're into eBay or just want to make an unbelievable amount of money selling stuff on the internet, then grab a pen to write down a number that could change your life forever.
So far I've done 100,000 in gross sales.
Generate massive cash selling products you don't have to see, store, or even pay for. Everything you need to get started making money on the internet is on a free CD from Internet Speedway. Call 1-800-436-9022. 1-800-436-9022. 1-800-436-9022.
Jay Thomas. Show. The afternoon drive show on the new Stars 2. Sirius 108 and XM 139.
Movies were movies when you paid a dime to escape. Cheering the hero and hissing the man in the cape. Romance and action and thrills. Partner, there's gold in them hills. Movies were movies when during the titles you'd know you'd get a happy ending, dozens of blundering cops in a thundering chase.
The old singer, dance man Robert Preston. Many of you may remember the movie Victor Victoria.
Yeah,
he was
he was Victor.
He was the gay friend. He was the gay friend of Julie Andrews,
right?
And she was pretending she was a man. I mean, come on.
Yeah, and she showed her boobs in that movie.
Yeah,
that
she
was
did.
Great.
Yeah, and then what's his name? Let's welcome Sean Phillips from Yahoo, the movie's executive producer and entertainment expert. Sean, that was Maverick was in that movie. What's Garner? James Garner.
James Garner, yeah.
He thought that Julie Andrews was a man, and he was upset that he loved a man. And then before it was over, the football player fell in love with Robert Preston. Isn't that right?
Yeah, well, you know.
The defensive tackle from the Lions.
Right.
Right. Who went on to do the show with Webster.
Yeah, Alex Carrick.
Alex Carrick. That was a crazy movie. Sean Phillips, welcome. Shuli is here from Howard 100 News and Howard 101. And we were just talking now. My kids are older, so the holiday movie for them is this. No adult seems to like this new James Bond movie. Do you like it?
I did like it. It's a different thing though. I mean, it's definitely a lot more like the Bourne movies that have become so popular. It's both in the way it's shot and just the real emphasis on the action. This one in particular had kind of a thin story. They're basing it on, it's the first time a James Bond movie's not been based on an Ian Fleming story, the original author of all the Bond stories. And so they've kind of done, this is the first one that's like authentically starting right where the last movie finished off kind of sequel. So it's a new endeavor for the Broccolis, or the producers, longtime producers of the Bond franchise. And, the action delivers, starts off with an awesome, kind of car chase sequence in the Aston Martin, of course, and there are a few scenes that really deliver. Not a whole lot of real fun James Bond dialogue, and
what is all? I mean, when you just said it's like the Bourne Identity, which is not as good as the book, certainly, but James Bond was this cool, collected, handsome guy, and there were bits, and the car shot flames and rockets and everything else. And now, of course, I've said this for weeks, he drinks Smirnoff, for God's sakes. A homeless guy held up a Smirnoff bottle to me the other day and said, "Look, it's shaken, not stirred. Ha, ha, ha."
That's right.
I mean, yeah, Smirnoff is $8. They don't even give you Smirnoff in an airplane.
I think Smirnoff was made in Chernobyl. I'm not sure. I think your pee glows in the dark after you do a couple shots.
Yeah, but Jay, you never know where there's going to be a spy. I mean, that homeless guy, he totally could have been the real deal right there.
He could have been the real deal.
009 there.
But then they had a Ford for a while, some sort of a Ford, and now, is it a BMW he drives now, but Aston Martin was the car, and they don't do the Aston Martin. And then a friend of mine was saying the other day that there's no seduction. You don't see him seduce the women. It's like let's go to bed, and the next scene is they're waking up.
I thought in the first one of these he was like a really dark character, like he was kind of nutty and
killed his wife or his girlfriend or something
like that. And then there wasn't that suave 007,
Yeah.
No, that's everyone's biggest complaint, that the suave debonair style of 007 has been totally forsaken. It's in some ways, like with Casino Royale, it was kind of cool that they went in a new direction. The more physical, a little more stern kind of James Bond. But in this one in particular, I mean, you mentioned some of the gadgets and stuff.
Right.
There's no gadget time.
My kids came home and said they liked it. One, it was short, and of course, like a video. But I said, so what are the cool gadgets? And they said, I don't, remember the seat that blew the person out of the car? Remember that?
Absolutely.
The ejection seat, the oil slick, the machine gun out of the back of the car. What else did they have?
Well, they had they had the one car, the Lotus, that could go underwater and stuff. You had it was just, I just remember those times with the dude Q was his code name.
He was awesome.
He'd be down in the shop.
The pin had poison in it, right? Poison pin. And he would go in and he would get his new equipment. When I was a kid, we would go to the movie theater and to the big CinemaScope, and you'd watch, Sean Connery go in there with that. That was part of the fun. And he would ask him to return them. Remember that? Q wanted them back.
That was always best. You always knew they're not coming back.
So does that mean the kids of today, it's just, you can't have any plot. You can't let them sit for 5 minutes and watch a story.
Well,
what little bastards? Are you really, all kidding aside, you do this for a living at Yahoo.
Right.
Does it not sicken you by who is running this thing now? And I'm talking about my kids too. It's probably they're not dumb. It's just that it's like right now. It's like a cat that has to eat all the friggin' time. I want it now. I want it fast. I don't want any thought behind it and everything else. I mean, I can't wait till I die to get to talk to these idiots on a daily basis, because I've had to slow my whole thing down here.
Well, what's interesting too is that
no one's ever heard me wish for death before.
Right. I like that. First time here on the show. I like that.
Yeah. Surely, I've never wished for death before.
Oh, I marked it.
Okay, thank you.
Duly noted.
Thank you. Go ahead, Sean.
Well, I was going to say that the kids fair, like legitimate kids fair, your 10 and under stuff, is actually nearly at a pinnacle now. I think it's really well crafted. Some of the best stories are coming in kids films, from the likes of Pixar and DreamWorks, and it's fair that there's a little crossover humor to the adults who have to watch the films with the kids. Those are being made at a premium level, I think. With the likes of what do we have? Wall-E, very interesting. Even
was it good? I didn't go see it. My kids are older now.
Right.
But was it a good movie to just go see?
It was very fascinating. There's sort of a little social commentary in there, but it's so well animated, and the storyline again is probably the most full of any of the types of movies coming out now. You know, Family Fare is getting the best treatment, it seems, these days. But you got movies like The Bond, you know, very suited to the male teen kid. It's explosions and just fast action, and you're right, there's no setup to it all. There's no you've lost a lot of the glamour, especially in a franchise like Bond. And then you got something like Twilight that's coming out this weekend, right? And that's something very much for the teen girls. And actually, I just saw
What is Twilight about? What is that going to be?
It's about like a period movie or something?
Yeah,
it's actually a vampire movie. And
same thing.
It is a period movie. The girl has her first period.
Well,
that's what I read.
Yeah, no, nothing like that.
No,
based on
I was probably looking. I wasn't looking on Yahoo when I read that.
I have an idea for a chick's first period movie, and a bear just follows her around everywhere she goes.
It's a scintillating watch, isn't it?
Hey, Sean, don't steal that shit, dude.
No.
That's copyrighted.
Oh boy. So it's a young girl. Sean, why are they so excited about vampires? My kids talk about vampires. True Blood is a hit.
What's wrong with everybody?
Twilight. What is, when I was a kid, you know, Bela Lugosi came and you were scared of him and he would suck the neck and all that, and they'd hit him with
back then you didn't know much. It could have been for real. You didn't know that.
Exactly. Oh yeah. So what's the vampire thing? What is all that about, Sean?
I think it's just one of those trends, you know. It's one of those entertainment trends. You know, kids these days, they like
a blood-sucking trend.
It's a blood-sucking trend, yeah. You know, everything vampire is popular. I think it's, you know, it's a great outlet for sort of the outcast kids, the kids that think differently. You know, they have vampires to relate to. You know, we like wearing black and not going in the sun, and vampires are great. I just think it's one of those trends. I don't know. In the entertainment world, it's kind of like when, you know, volcano movies were popular, and, you know, end of the world movies are popular. Well, this time it's vampire movies.
Well, you know what I miss is the vampire, when Bela Lugosi, he would come visit a house or something, and he would be called the Prince or whatever. Well, good evening. And they would, like, let him in the house and everything else, and you knew he was the vampire, right? And he would kiss a woman's hand, and he'd go, "It's very, very wonderful to meet you." And now, you don't know who the vampires are. They're just like regular people, or they're good-looking kids or whatever. In True Blood, they don't bite people they love, Shuli, or something like that. Is that right, Sean? They don't kill the ones they love, or they don't get them hooked up, and it's like a drug thing, right?
Right. It's more like, you know, and that's actually a lot how the Twilight is. You know, the aroma of the regular human drives them wild, and so they either feed on humans, and typically ones they don't know or don't like. But if they, you know, in some cases they start building, you know, wild romances with humans that are not, you know, that the other vampires don't look fondly upon.
Do they make out with them, but they don't bite them?
You know, that's the whole, that's part of the shtick there. It's like, I have to resist so much, and I think that's what makes girls go crazy, because like, look, he's resisting his natural urges for the sake of this passion. And
stupid broads.
It's my first period. Well. You know, I mean, you know, I never thought about that until Sick Shuli mentioned it. But is there anything in Twilight where the young girl has her period or something, and the vampire, you know, is interested?
All of a sudden,
in
the doorbell rings. Just making a house call.
No, yeah. You know, they might have missed the boat on that part of the story. Actually.
Welcome, seriously.
Welcome to the neighborhood. Just wanted to say hi.
We have Reese Witherspoon and Vince Vaughn in the holiday family flick, right? Have you seen that one, Sean, of Sean Phillips of Yahoo Movies?
I'm seeing it actually later this week.
Right. So. Now, do you look forward to this, or is this...
or is it like a dead man walking, you know...
Well, it's... You know, I love the holidays. You know, I love getting inspired by this time of year. And so I'm always...
So you're not a Jehovah's Witness, and you're not Jewish.
Not a Jehovah's Witness.
And you're not Jewish, all right.
It's always fun to see what new Christmas stuff they do come out with. And
all right, well, let me just guess.
Sean just took the scenic route and saying this is going to suck. I think is what he just said there.
The rumblings aren't great. The rumblings aren't great.
Let me just tell you what it's going to be. They are a new couple, and they're going to visit parents that he doesn't like, and their plane or something gets canceled.
Get out of here.
And they have to stay with the parents they don't like.
Are you insane? This movie's nuts.
Yeah. And so Sissy Spacek says that he's kind of chubby. I mean, I've watched the previews and all. Who's the dad in this movie? I haven't seen the picture of the dad yet.
So there's actually what it is so it's like both sets of parents are divorced. So there's actually like 4 sets of parents to visit. Hence the 4 Christmases. So you know what? Actually, the parents. Sissy Spacek I know is in it. Who else is in it? I don't know. I
they
think
have to go to all the parents' houses, or they're all coming to one house?
No, they go separately. So it's 4 separate adventures. Once that plane is canceled, and apparently, over the years they've been able to get out of Christmas because they go on their own little.
Always
vacation.
On a trip. Okay.
But this time,
this will be different.
Yeah, buckle up, hijinks ahead.
Do you think anybody is going to learn something at the end of this film? Do you think they're going to come away with a different feeling about other people?
Only if this is the first feel-good movie they've ever seen.
All right. Sean Phillips from Yahoo Movies executive
producer.
Can
I ask him about The Watchmen?
Go ahead, sure.
Yeah, have you seen this yet? What are you hearing about it?
Well, this one's going to be actually a really, really awesome movie, and I've seen just snippets of different kinds of footage. And
is it about a guy in a chair and he just sits there all night and nothing much goes on?
You wouldn't believe how riveting that is.
The Watchmen.
So it's about a band of superheroes, but they're more. It's not a glorifying superheroes kind of tale. It's how sort of they have feelings too type of thing.
Stop.
But it's really dark. It's based on a very, very well thought of graphic novel, one of Time Magazine's top 100 novels, not just graphic novels of the 20th century. So it's actually a really well regarded piece of literature that it's based on.
Well, Hollywood will ruin that. It won't take long for Hollywood to mess that up.
That's been the thing. They've been trying to make this movie for about 20 years now, and no one's had the right recipe. But it really looks. I mean, I only learned about this. I went up to a set visit to visit them up in. They were up in Vancouver.
Yeah.
And I read this graphic novel.
Who's the star?
The biggest star probably is Malin Ackerman. She was in what was she in? She's super charismatic, super pretty girl. She was in what was the Ben Stiller movie there? What was it?
Zoolander.
It was a remake. Oh,
Zoolander.
Heartbreak Kid.
And your chief executive officer Jerry Yang stepped down, right?
That's the word.
Yeah.
That's the word. We'll see. There's news every day here.
How pissed off are you that he didn't sell for $50 billion? All right, Sean.
Well, we're hoping we all make money down the line somewhere.
Yeah.
You never know. Could be a better offer around the corner.
You never
Sean
know.
Phillips, go to Yahoo Movie executive producer, entertainment expert. Sean Phillips is here waiting for you. Thanks for being on the Jay Thomas Show with Shuley. Thank you, Sean.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks, Jay.
Okay, see you later. It is Sirius 108, and it is XM 139. There you go. See, I got it in there, Shuley. I'm not afraid.
I can't believe you're remembering these numbers.
You mean the channel numbers?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
there's a
shocked.
Big sign in front of me.
Oh, yeah.
The latest news, breaking news, national and international is all on Sirius and XM. CNN.
Hey, I'm Anderson Cooper. Welcome to 360.
CNN Headline News.
This is CNN Radio.
Fox.
I'm Bill O'Reilly.
Fox News Talk. Business news from CNBC and Bloomberg.
Lightning round, Kramer's been money man.
Prices paid for Standard & Poor's.
And news from around the world on WRN and the BBC World Service.
The European Union says it's not.
Everything worth listening to is now on Sirius and XM. Find out more at Sirius.com and XMRadio.com.
My boss said you're the man for the job.
Unavailable.
You have 10 seconds to change your mind.
I'll give you 5 seconds to remove your hand.
On November 26th.
Want to tell me what this is all about?
When you go past 75 feet from the car. Complete the mission.
Think we're playing games? A little late for warning, so you think?
Save your life.
They're going to kill us!
You really should think more positive.
Jason Statham, Transporter 3, rated PG-13. Some material may be inappropriate for children under 13. In theaters everywhere, November 26th.
So you want to stop smoking? Well, you could try the nicotine patch or gums to find out they have a success rate of 7% and no refunds when it doesn't work 93% of the time. Here's a better option. It's called All Natural Smoke Free, and it's a complete stop smoking program with no caffeine or nicotine. And here's the best part. You can try it free. Grab a pen and take this number down. 1-800-218-0291 to get your free order of all natural smoke-free. Call 1-800-218-0291. 1-800-218-0291.
Gentlemen, this message is for you if you're using either Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra, or perhaps you never have and it's about time. ClassicTabs.com now has all 5 performance enhancers, Viagra, Cialis, Levitra, and 2 new fast-acting tablets that melt under the tongue. Both start to work in as little as 15 minutes. You choose. Go online to ClassicTabs.com or give us a call at 1-800-640-7032. Your prescription will be filled by a U.S. licensed physician, delivered overnight in a privacy envelope right to your door. Now there are 5 male enhancers to choose from. Viagra, Cialis, Levitra, and 2 new fast-acting tablets that melt under the tongue. Your decision, your choice. It's that simple. That's ClassicTabs.com. ClassicTabs.com. Or call 1-800-640-7032. ClassicTabs.com.
The Jay Thomas Show. Jay Thomas. Stars 2. The curious. The extreme. The fascinating. Jay Thomas is on the new Stars 2. Sirius 108 and XM 139.
Jay Thomas coming to you from California. All these flames, and they still voted against gay marriage. Can you believe that? There are people now that are saying that the fires, you forget what a conservative state this is. People think this is this liberal state. Maybe portions of Hollywood are liberal, or San Francisco, let's say, certain areas. But most of the state is not a liberal state. And every time we have fires or earthquakes or whatever, there are any number of elected officials, including, ministers and clergy and stuff, who say that because we even had the vote about gay marriage, God has lit the state on fire.
He's punishing you.
He's punishing us. He's punishing us, and all of that stuff. And so it's like, we had a guy here in a wheelchair that ran he was a Republican, and I guess, I don't know if he was a war veteran or not, but he blamed the fires, and there were floods, and there was an earthquake, like all of the things. He blamed them somehow on the Democrats. I don't know how that worked exactly. And he was in this wheelchair, and you just didn't like him. It was almost like, the movie, where the Christmas movie that comes out with James Stewart every year, he loses the money. It's a Wonderful Life. Mm-hmm. And you've got the guy going, "Oh, so now, George, what do you do now?" The guy in the wheelchair, right? Yeah. That's what this guy was like in the wheelchair. And there are editorials, there are people giving speeches. And it is amazing when people think of California. I mean, we've got Arnold Schwarzenegger as the governor, for God's sakes. A right-wing... I think we've had more Republican, governors than we've had, Democrats and stuff. But I don't... what did he burn? By the way, they caught 4 kids. Did you know they started the fire up here in Santa Barbara? They had just... I don't know what, had a little fire or something, and they put the fire out.
I don't get that, man.
15 hours later, it caught the whole mountain on fire.
I can understand when you were a kid, like when I was growing up, because,
Well, these are 18-year-old people.
But I'm saying nowadays, they have such cool things to do, video game-wise, that you don't have to go light fires. My days, we had Pong, which fucking blew. It was just watching a square ball bounce back and forth. Then you go out and set a fire. You got nothing to do.
So you're saying that the sitting in the forest and enjoying, what nature's given you, and lighting a fire, and you and 3 or 4 friends enjoying each other's company, perhaps smoking a joint, perhaps, cooking a weenie.
Maybe that's how the fire got started. Somebody laughs too long, drops a joint.
Perhaps pinching a weenie. Maybe they're having a self-defense class.
Pinching a weenie. Jesus.
Pinching a weenie.
Last-minute instructions. Ladies, listen, okay? I come up behind you. You pinch my penis. Now, you can do this to any man. Here's the key, okay? You're going to pinch it a few times. He's going to start to shake. All right, 3 or 4 very hard shakes. Then you're going to see a wet spot, and before you know it, he'll be asleep. It's like clockwork. It works with every guy.
That's an actual tape from the UC Davis defense class that we just found on the Jay Thomas Show with Shuley. Yeah, I mean, it's really sad, and I don't know what you think of God or whatever, but I don't think he lights things on fire, You know, it's amazing. God does all these horrible things, and he's never called a pyromaniac. He kills people. He's never called a murderer. You know what I'm saying?
Gay basher.
Yeah, thank you. He's never called any names.
Nothing.
No, I don't get it.
He always gets away scot-free somehow.
He sure does.
And then we're the assholes. I got news for you.
Yeah.
I didn't do the fires. I don't do earthquakes.
Mm-hmm.
That guy's screwing with all of us.
Atlantic City Mayor Lorenzo Langford has pledged to guide Atlantic City through its economic turmoil.
LL.
And by the way, I think the last 2 or 3 mayors have gone to jail, if I'm not mistaken. He's going to enter into a partnership with his former rivals, and he gave this inauguration speech on last Thursday. Now, do you ever play Atlantic City? Shula, you ever go over there?
I've played poker there. No, I did. Borgata with Artie, I did a couple times, yes.
Okay.
And House of Blues out there, yeah.
Mayor Langford, who officially took oath, was joined by his family, friends, supporters, and all sorts of people for this big public ceremony. We're going to get through this, he said, as bleak as it may look on the economy and the gaming industry. We're going to be all right. Atlantic City, he said, is going to soar, right? Apparently he's not looking out of the window of the casinos.
Because it looks like a soar.
It's horrible. Horrible. The new mayor, whose previous term in office from 2002 to 2005 was hampered by detractors, he welcomed a partnership of those who previously viewed him as rivals, and now he's going to be together. Plot and plan against me, if you will, said Mayor Lorenzo. But remember, there is a God in heaven plotting and planning against you.
Wow.
So he said that he's like an instrument of God. I mean, that's huge balls.
That is saying a lot. Like,
God also wanted $10 on red. That's the last thing he said before he. But can you believe that?
Sorry, God, no more bets, please. Thank you, God.
I mean, really. He said God's plotting against you people. Now God's not considered. Now all these people they're just against him in office. It's not like, he's saying, killers or thieves or whatever. It's just, and now are we going to start the thing this season? Do you put up the Christmas tree? Do you put up the Hanukkah thing or whatever the deal is? I mean, when you drive by a park, Shuli, and you are a devout, an Orthodox, almost a completely kosher Hebrew, when you drive and you see a Christmas tree and you see the baby Jesus, does that disgust you? Does that sicken you during the holiday season that your people are not, better served?
Yeah, I think we're really losing that contest. I mean, they got props. They got props out there. I mean, we just throw out a Malibu Barbie house in the lawn or something. Let's meet them halfway and at least give it a fight. What do we got? A dreidel. A dreidel,
what is that? That's
which
like
of course has to do, which of course has to do with money, right? Can't shake that fucking stereotype, right?
How does the dreidel work? I don't know how it works.
It's got letters of the alphabet on it, the Hebrew alphabet, and it's not actually with money, but eventually it leads to that because you're supposed to bet chocolate. Like they have these coins in this gold wrapping, and inside the wrapping it's chocolate. So as a little Jew prank, your parents would go, "Hey, here's a bag of gold," as a kid, and then you'd be like, "Awesome, it's gold." And then
as a Jew prank?
Yeah, that's a Jew prank. And then next thing you know, your gold's melting in your hands.
And then, now, I had a roommate in New York when I first moved there, and we put up a Christmas tree, and he said, we got to take it down, but my grandmother may come to visit, and she would, drop dead.
Well, I told that to Chris, my girlfriend, because she, last year we celebrated Christmas. I'd celebrated Hanukkah my whole life. I wanted to get a taste of Christmas. So
you mean you had never, ever celebrated Christmas?
I mean, I'd been over to friends' houses during the Christmas,
But didn't you have the Asian girlfriend in Vegas? Didn't you have
Yeah, but we didn't celebrate. We prayed to some tree or plant or something. I don't know what her deal was.
So she was a Buddhist?
Yeah, she was a Buddhist. We just did the Karate Kid pose for 4 hours in the kitchen and then went to bed. But yeah, we celebrated Christmas last time. It was great. I loved it. I had a great time.
I mean, you never sat and gave presents and
like
never
Hanukkah.
did.
Here's the scam with Hanukkah. All right, it's supposed to be 8 nights of presents. That's what you're supposed to get because the oil that the Jews thought was going to run out lasted 8 nights. Okay, again, as Jon Stewart says, it's about a bargain, basically. But the reality of it is, when you're a kid, yeah, you get 8 presents, 1 for every night, but they're little, nothing major. The older you get, you just get 1 present. You just get like 1 good present, and that's it. And it's a scam. And the other 7 nights, you light a candle like a schmuck, and you get nothing.
Yeah, I guess the thing is that I always considered the Christmas tree and the whole deal, I always considered it, it just like was something you did for fun. We never talked about Jesus or what it meant or whatever. And now, the fight begins, and Bill O'Reilly goes crazy.
Yeah, he does.
He goes nuts. This is his time of the year.
He really is.
When he loves it. And you can't say Merry Christmas. That's why I've been trying to get Sean Kelly, or his ex-son-in-law, to put that shirt out that says, Merry Christmas. You got a problem with that? With the little, Hey, Sean, put a Star of David under it.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great, Jay. Perfect.
What's the matter with that?
I'd wear that shit.
I tell you what, put a Star of David, put the half moon for the Arabs.
Oh, here you go. You put on the front, Merry Christmas, you got a problem with that. And then on the back, you got the Star of David, and it says, and a happy fucking Hanukkah.
And in small letters, paid for by Jews for Jesus.
YouTube.
Yeah. But, and then there's Kwanzaa.
Oh, that's for the sleeves. We can get that on the sleeve.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about, but that's a whole nother holiday.
That is a whole weird thing. What is that?
But what I do love about the Arabs, though, when they do have the thing to Mecca, 800 or 900 of them die during that. They always, every year they get trampled. Well, every single year. And I start laughing from the moment they begin the trek.
You know what that is? That's the world's largest mosh pit. And any metal concert you can go to, they got nothing on that move that they have.
They have lost thousands of people in the last few years, and nothing happens. They get spooked. Here's what'd be fun, though. You and I, we go to Mecca, and we dress in the outfit.
I'm with you.
We get right by the bridge when we cross, and we go like this. Hey! 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 Like that. You don't even have to say bomber or trouble or nothing. Apparently, they just get spooked. Yeah. There's no reason for it. They're all like moving along,
I was going to say they're like cattle.
Yeah. Hey! Oh! And look, I never feel badly when I read that they've trampled themselves to death. If you're that friggin' stupid.
Right.
It's culling the herd. It's like, those are the, you and I are two, let's say
if there's a herd of people running towards you, you're not going to stop, turn around, and go, why are you all running towards me? You're going to
Allah will save you. Right, stop the herd. But if you and I are young, bright, Muslim guys, we would be sitting around going, all right, look, we got to go to the thing, but we're not getting on that bridge.
No.
We would either go a day or two early, or we would hang around the edge, right?
Yeah.
They would trample each other.
Right.
And then as they're cleaning everybody up, we'd be going, I'm not paying full price for that pita sandwich, okay? Because sorry, but you don't have any
business. Put 2 falafel balls in there. Come on.
Hey, you're not going to be selling anything fresh for a while, okay? Because, I'm not buying that. Let's go to Scott of New Hampshire. Yes, Scott, the Jay Thomas Show at 108, which is Sirius, and then 139, which is XM. Surely you're amazed that I know the numbers and all, right?
I mean, you have problems with really simple last names. Forget numbers.
Sure, but I got a sign. Go ahead, Mike. No, go ahead, Scott.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Yes, Scott, go ahead.
I just had a question about your loose bowels there. When you say you can't start any early in the day because of your loose bowels.
What's that? Oh, they asked me why I didn't want to work early in the morning.
Yeah, say if you started at like 9, you come in after Howard.
Yeah, they wanted me to come on earlier. Yeah, I told them that I had a bowel problem. I can't believe you remember that. I tell you what's happened. It never was this way, but I had all of these friends for years that would say to me, "You mean when you get up in the morning, you don't go, you don't have a BM first thing in the morning?" And I would say, "No, I don't." And there was no schedule to it. And I must have thought about this or something, because in the last 4 or 5 years, since I used to get up early and do a morning show, and since I've been here, it hits me about like 9 o'clock, boom, like that. Shuli, are you regular like that in the morning?
It comes and goes. It's weird. Like I'll like maybe 2 days in a row, I'll wake up in the morning, and then the next 3 I don't have to.
Yeah, I'm like, Scott, I don't know what's happened, but, and so when they asked me to work mornings, I said, don't think I can do it because my bowels.
Which I'm sure is what they were not expecting to hear.
No, they weren't. And you know what? If you bring a note from a doctor, they can't fool with that. Now, this is the thing that I like about the new thing. You can have a problem. You can have a mental or a physical problem, and they have trouble getting rid of you. I kind of like that.
That is good.
That is good. Remember, you'd have a guy and you go, he's a nut. We got to fire him.
We got to get rid of Thomas. We can't. He shits early in the morning.
That's right. You can't. He probably got a thing from a doctor.
The guy shits by 7:30. What are we going to do?
He's supposed to be at work at like 8 o'clock, but he's in the toilet. He can't come in. They're thinking of putting an ISDN line in one of the stalls over here. So
that starts at like 9 o'clock your time. That's when it starts. You have to run to the bathroom.
I don't even know why you're interested in this. I happened to mention it, and you're like hung on it. Yeah, to be honest with you, you're a sick person for even bringing this up.
He's interested because he wants you to go on right after Howard.
You want me to be in the morning? I'm not going to be on in the morning.
Which will increase your listenership by millions.
I'm fine the way I am.
Then Bubba comes on, and people listen to Bubba. And
how much worship can I have, for God's sakes? I got enough. I'm on 11 channels now, right? You know what they do? They put me in all the trouble spots, okay? Sirius 108 was in real trouble. They turned to me. XM 139 didn't even exist. They said, we got to break new ground. Send in Thomas.
You know what they call him around here? The cleaner.
That's right.
You're the cleaner.
I'm the cleaner. All right. So there you go.
It's a privilege to meet I've never met a Jew, so it's a privilege to meet Shuli. And
you've never met a Jewish person? How is that?
They don't have them in New Hampshire. They're not up here.
Get ready to see a lot of moving trucks over this weekend moving up to New Hampshire.
You mean like New Hampshire's a state that doesn't attract Jewish people? Maybe you don't live in one of the bigger cities.
Matter of fact, as soon as Barack I voted for Barack. As soon as he got elected, you see black people now in the stores.
Get out of here.
Where were they before? Where were the blacks before?
Hiding, I guess. I don't know.
They were all hiding in New Hampshire.
Down in Mass.
So all of a sudden they move into the thing. I was going to mention this. Hillary Clinton got the most write-in votes. What's funny? This doesn't seem like a lot of. I guess this must be from a state or something like that, because Hillary Clinton got 234 write-in votes. I don't know where this came from. Ron Paul got 174. None of the above got 23. Jesus got 23. Huckabee got 21. Mitt Romney got 14. Colin Powell got 8 votes. God got 6. Bishop V.M. McLaughlin got votes. You ever heard of him?
No. You can't vote for yourself, Bishop. Nice try.
This is just a list of people who got any votes at all.
Sean Kelly got 2.5.
Colbert, Donald Duck, Mickey Mouse, Bill Nye, Chuck Norris,
Bill Nye,
Pago, Possum, George W. Bush got write-in votes. Even if you'd want.
Call me crazy, but I think Bill Nye the Science Guy would do a good job with this country.
Alfred E. Newman has gotten votes in every presidential election for the past 58 years.
That's just silly.
Bill O'Reilly, Bill Richardson, Bugs Bunny, me, Morgan Freeman, Oprah, Hillary Bush got write-in votes. Can you imagine what an idiot that must have been?
Created a person?
Jay Plotkin. Who is Jay Plotkin? Is that a person or just a guy?
It sounds familiar, that name.
Joe the Plumber, which they're calling Lieberman now, because that's what he'll be doing in the Senate. Joe the Plumber. Tommy Chong, Tiger Woods, Weird Al Yankovic, Bill Cosby, and Willie Nelson. Why would you do that? You go into the thing, you stand in line, and you go out of your way to put Bugs Bunny or something?
I tell you what I took away from that story is Weird Al's got to be happy that his name's still thrown around now.
Isn't that amazing?
Huh? I'd be like, did you hear that? I got 1 vote.
My kids listen to Weird Al and think he's new.
Ugh.
They think he's like the new,
He's a really nice guy. I've met him. But, like the older you get, when I was younger, he was a god. The older I got, I'm like, this is really stupid.
Greg of Alabama, the Jay Thomas Show. Shuley is here. Yes, Greg. 108 was in incredible trouble. They've asked me to dig us out of real trouble.
The cleaner has arrived.
Yeah, the cleaner's arrived. Yes, Greg, what can we do for you?
You really believe that?
What's that?
I've been with Sirius for, 3 years now?
Mm-hmm.
And 108 Maximum was my favorite channels.
Really? Well, it was in tremendous trouble. Tremendous trouble.
What did you like about Maximum Radio?
I don't know if we want to go that far, Shirley.
I'm giving y'all a try, okay?
Yes, sir.
I'm not starting out with no negative stuff.
I don't care if you listen or not. That's how tough I am.
That's Jay
in fact,
talking.
How about this? Go away, you.
That's Jay talking, by the way.
Go on, you. Get going, you. Go on. Hey, go on, you. You go on, you. I don't need you to try me. I don't need you to try me out. Get out of here. Go.
You yelled at him like he's
Get out of here.
You yelled at him like he's a raccoon in your garbage can.
You call from Alabama and you like the other channel, and I'm telling you right now, I'm digging this company out of a friggin' hole, and you're gonna try me? Like what? Like I'm some of that Crystal Light crap that you buy in the grocery store? You're gonna give it a try? Right. What do you think I am? One of those little stands at Costco? You're not gonna try me. You're gonna go away. You don't get me, my friend.
Hey, Jay.
Sorry you had to see that, Shuley.
Hey, Jay, I'm a huge fan of Maximum Radio.
Maximum, that's right.
I love that. Like some shit you just can't even write. It just falls in your lap.
I love that Maximum Radio.
I got to say, I might be the biggest Maximum Radio fan out there.
I just couldn't get why they had this Maxim radio channel, and you'd meet these guys, or these women on the channel, and I would say, so you must talk about tits and ass. Oh, no. They never cursed or anything. You open that magazine up, and every whore in America had her coochie, coming at you in 3D.
Oh, please. Right? They're pressing ham against glass, they're doing everything on that thing.
I just didn't, it's like the Playboy channel.
Yeah.
They never, who in the hell goes on the Playboy television channel to watch nothing happen?
Right. why would I'm on the Playboy channel to get off?
Well, listen.
That's the way I look at it.
I remember when I was a kid, I forget, there was a channel on, or I guess maybe I was in college, I couldn't pay for the channel or whatever, but it had sex stuff on it, right?
It was all scrambled, but you could hear it.
I masturbated to the scramble a couple of times.
Been there, bro. Done that.
I could sort of see the breast. I could maybe see a piece of her ass.
I could see pubes, didn't know whose it was, but that's all I needed to see.
So the Playboy channel comes, and I think, okay, I pay my money, get the Playboy channel, and they talk.
Mm-hmm.
The women talk. Miss December talks.
Oh, yeah, they got The View on the Playboy channel.
Good God.
And no penetration.
Yeah, that's the other thing. No penetration.
Well, have you ever watched late night Showtime used to do this too?
Yeah.
And they have a plot, and then they have sex, and the woman's really beautiful, and it's all perfectly lit, and the guy's behind her, and you don't see anything, so you're sitting there watching it going, now, are people watching this because of the plot, or because there's going to be this simulated sex, and you're sitting there not wondering if it's sexual, but if it's like, who's thinking of this stuff? And the poor actors, anything to be in the movie. Let's go to Mars of Ohio. Is your name Mars, like the planet Mars?
Yeah, just like it.
Just like the planet Mars. That's it.
Just like the planet.
Are you a Cancer? Were you born in July?
Is that where you were conceived?
No. I'm actually the sixth in a line of Marses from England.
Get out of here.
You are Mars the 6th.
Wow, that's kind of cool, man.
Do you call your penis the Mars bar? You ever do that as a joke? You ever go,
nice.
Hey, you want to see the old Mars bar?
Careful, it's got nuts.
So,
yeah.
Or you know what it's got? A nougat. What is a nougat,
creamy
Sean?
filling.
Sean, a creamy filling. Sean, what is a nougat? What is that? That's a nougat. What is that? That's something from England. Hold on a second. What is that, Sean Kelly? A nougat.
A nougat.
Can you look it up? What nougat?
Yeah, it's sort of like a white, sugary sort of substance. I'm really not sure. I think there's melamine in it.
You know, it'd be funny on the Playboy Channel. Here comes my nougat, baby. Here comes some nougat. All right. Let's go back to Greg of Alabama, who a few moments ago I chased off like a raccoon.
And he's back, just like you said he would be.
All right. You've come back, and I hope you have a civil tongue in your mouth this time, my
You might
friend.
want to start with an apology right off the bat.
Yeah, that's...
First of all, I didn't get chased off. You hung up on me, man.
No, we didn't hang up
We
on
never
you.
hang up on anybody.
Yeah,
We chased you off like a raccoon running from a hound dog, my friend. See, I know all the Southern talk. Hold it a second. Shit firing a red-ass mule. I ain't seen nothing like it.
It takes a lot more than that shit to chase me off.
Let me tell you where I was a sports announcer. You're going to be shocked. I was a sports announcer in Ozark, Alabama.
Huh?
I've been through there, yeah.
I know you have.
Of course you have.
And I dated a cheerleader.
Listen to this.
From Auburn, and she lived in Anniston, Alabama, and I went to school at Gulf Coast Junior College. So don't tell me I don't know the South, Greg of Alabama.
Yeah, so what's wrong with the South, Jay Thomas?
I am from the South, and I'm just saying that don't think for 1 minute.
He's not some city slicker pretending to be from that area. He knows it. It's a part of him.
I sound like a Yankee Jew, but I ain't.
No, I ain't knocking you, dude. I'm just trying to give you my opinion, and you hung up on me before I could get a word out.
All right,
that was Garrett, actually.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, what I was saying...
You know what happened? What happened was a squirrel ate through the line.
I believe that. It happens at work all the time, man. What I was calling about was, 108, I listened to it. Maximum Channel.
Absolutely.
It's cool. And I'm still listening to 108 right now. I'm listening to your show.
Are you enjoying the show? Oh, wow.
He hung up. No, you see what? A squirrel eats through the power lines.
Oh, sure. Happens all the time at work. Right. If you work at a squirrel farm, maybe.
Jan of Ohio, it's the Jay Thomas Show. Yes, Jan, how are you? On Sirius 108, XM 139. Yes, Jan, how are you?
Great. How are you, Jay?
Good, thank you.
Hey, that conversation's hard to follow up.
No, but, you know what, Jan, don't you ever, and Shuli will tell you this from comedy, don't worry about what goes ahead of you. Just go on and do your thing. Right, Shuli?
Close strong, baby.
No, but I mean, so the guy, I don't know what you think of that guy or whatever, but you just say what you have to say. We're not going to judge you.
You do your own thing, sweetie.
Yeah, go ahead. Jan. Hit the button so Jan can talk, please.
Oh, there she goes.
There you go. You're not like Garrett. Hey, what'd you get on hold?
No.
By your finger.
I have suggestions on what to call 108.
Ooh.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. Sure.
My first one is testosterone 108.
That's already been turned down by the attorneys.
Or straight 108.
That's all been turned down. You can't do that. You know, I got in trouble for having a gay and a straight water cooler in my.
I wonder why you got in trouble.
You know what? We have these water coolers in this little office park where I am, so I put gay and straight on them. But the gay one wasn't a water cooler; it was kind of like a dog thing or like a hose. And man, somebody got really mad and they ripped it off. You know, threw it on the ground. Yeah. So now, Jan, this is not all about testosterone. Okay, this is just This is just people talking. Madison, by the way, I think could be probably the nastiest person of the whole group. Don't you think, Sheila? And she's going to be even nastier when she comes back with the same face she left with.
Oh, my God. We're going to have to pretend for a little while that it looks different.
And finally, Augie of Dallas. By the way, Kenny Mayne from ESPN, the great sports announcer, and the guy that got thrown off of Dancing with the Stars. He calls himself a poor man's Larry David. We'll find out what that's all about. He's got another book or something. Yes, Augie of Dallas. It's the Jay Thomas Show with Shuley. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How about yourself?
We're doing great, Augie. Thank you.
Say, guys, I'm a first-time listener, first-time caller. I had Sirius now for 2 years. Man, you guys are fucking awesome.
Thanks, Augie.
All right, Sean Kelly, give Augie of Dallas a gift. This is how it works. If Greg of Alabama is listening, this is how it works, okay? Kiss our ass and get a gift. Go ahead, Sean Kelly. Give Augie of Dallas. By the way, in Terrell, Texas, the day after the election, Shuley and Augie, they did not print that Barack Obama was the president of the United States.
That's hardcore, man.
That is very hardcore, right.
You know,
That's
the
right.
fucked up thing about it is, I live 8 miles away from there.
You know who was the quarterback of the Terrell, Texas High football team? Jamie Foxx when he was in high school.
Yes,
Did
he
you know
was.
that? He was the quarterback. All right, Sean Kelly, what do we have for Augie of Dallas?
Augie of Dallas. Let me make this perfectly queer by Mondo Fax, the singing judge. It's a CD.
There you go. Let me make this perfectly queer. All right, Augie of Dallas, thank you. Jay Thomas is here. Shuley is here. It's Sirius 108 XM 139.
The Jay Thomas Show. Jay Thomas, Stars 2. The Curious, the Extreme, the Fascinating. Jay Thomas is on the new Stars 2. Sirius 108 and XM 139. The new Stars 2. Sirius 108, XM 139. Infinity, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. East. Sirius 6 West. Maximum Radio with Covino and Rich. Maximum Radio. Noon to 3 p.m. East. 9 a.m. to noon West. The Jay Thomas Show. 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. East. Noon to 3 West. All shows replayed throughout the day. The new Stars 2. The new Stars 2. Sirius 108 and XM 139.
What would you do for a Klondike bar?
Oh, what would I do for a Klondike bar? Oh, man. I'd run errands all day instead of watching the game. I'd even cancel poker night and have dinner with my mother-in-law. You know, I don't know what it is. The thick chocolatey shell, the rich creamy vanilla ice cream center, the square shape and silver foil. I guess you could say there's plenty I'd do for the crazy good taste of a Klondike bar. It's available in vanilla, chocolate, and 11 other awesome flavors.
What would you do for a Klondike bar?
Did you know the most common cause of blindness in people aged 60 and over is a chronic condition called wet age-related macular degeneration, or AMD? The good news is that wet AMD doesn't happen overnight, though in some people it can develop very quickly. It begins with symptoms including wavy lines, hazy vision, and blurriness. So if you aren't seeing clearly, see an eye doctor and get checked out right away, because early detection followed by proper treatment by a retina specialist is key. This message was brought to you by the American Society of Retina Specialists and Genentech.
Attention migraine sufferers. Do you suffer from migraine or tension headaches? Is the pain unbearable? Do your pills aggravate your nausea? Have you ever wished for faster relief? Well, your wish has finally been answered. It's now possible to stop migraine suffering in minutes rather than hours or days. That's right. It's now possible to stop migraine suffering in just minutes. It's called Dr. Heisen's Headache System, and it will change your life. Developed by board-certified neurologist Dr. Morton Heisen, it's easy to use and clinically shown to relieve migraine pain without pills, shots, or a prescription. Previously available only to his patients, Dr. Heisen's Headache System is now available directly for the first time. Stop the throbbing, stop the pounding, stop the nausea in just minutes with the revolutionary Heisen Headache System. Real relief is finally here for all migraine and tension headache sufferers.
Call 800-338-6251 to put an end to your migraine suffering. Call 1-800-338-6251. That's 800-338-6251 for real relief in minutes guaranteed or your money back. Call 1-800-338-6251. Again, 1-800-338-6251.
Jay Thomas. Jay Thomas Show. The afternoon drive show on the new Stars 2. Sirius 108 and XM 139.
See the curtains hanging in the window in the evening on a Friday night.
For many of you who are huge fans of 70s on 7, which is on XM and Sirius, by the way, now that we've kind of matched up all the signals, my show is from 8 a.m. Eastern Time until noon Eastern Time every Saturday. It's the Jay Thomas Saturday 70s on 7 Spectacular. That's right. And we play the music that I started off in this incredible radio industry playing, and Seals and Cross. Members of the Baha'i Faith, right? I always bring up stuff. You know, Garrett produces that show for me. It's amazing, isn't it, Garrett? The things that I bring to that spectacular show. It's
true.
The Baha'i Faith.
You know so much about that religion, somehow.
You know what? I do have a booklet here that I'll read in a few minutes about the Baha'i Faith. Don't forget that Shuli will be headlining, and I will be the kind of the host, master of ceremonies. Rodney Licano will be doing a set. It's Jay Thomas and Friends, December the 18th at Caroline's in New York City, right there in the heart of Times Square. And go get your tickets, okay? Go to... I guess Carolines.com, right, Shuli?
Yeah, I think it's CarolinesOnBroadway.com, or it's just Carolines. But also, did I mention that Louis Twitchell Santani will be doing the show with us?
Nice.
Tourette's comedian.
We're going to have the Tourette's comedian on.
It's going to be great. He's really funny if you haven't seen him do stand-up. He's been on Tonight Show and MTV.
So you're choosing people for Jay Thomas and Friends?
Yeah.
I don't even know these people.
Only the best, though. Only the best.
Should be Jay Thomas and people he's never met before.
Only the best. Somehow Rodney snuck in, but only the best.
And the women. And I want the woman. Remember the woman?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're looking for her.
Jesus.
Rebecca of Maine, the Jay Thomas Show at Sirius One. Oh, she left us. What's happening? Why are we losing the phone calls? Is something happening?
Yeah, the phone's in the wrong mode, and every time I answer the phone, it hangs up on whoever's on. Sorry.
The phone is in the wrong mode. And when you pick it up, it hangs up on people.
What kind of mode is that?
Good God Almighty! Yeah, what is that?
Like who's sitting around going, I want to be able to hang up on people when I answer it.
What sort of mode do you need to put it in, Sean? Oh, Rebecca's back, and he's going to apologize to Rebecca.
Rebecca, I apologize for technical
It's in the wrong mode. Yeah, and he's the one that knows all about the computer, and he's always telling me stuff, and then he can't even figure out the friggin' telephone. Yes, Rebecca, the Jay Thomas Show. How are you? I'm sorry, Rebecca, the phone was in the wrong mode.
Try this again.
Yeah, try it again. Julius, yes, go ahead. So you're there in Maine. What's it like in Maine? Is it nice? I've never been to Maine. Is it nice there? And does everybody talk like the guy from Pepperidge Farm? Pepperidge Farm does like that.
That's like way up Maine. That's not where I live. No.
But do they actually talk like, well, how are ya? Welcome to Maine. Like that? They really talk like that?
Some places, depending upon where you live.
God, it's like a foreign country. I think that would aggravate me after a while.
That's why I stay south.
And you stay south. You're in one of the larger cities in Maine. What's the largest city? Is it Bangor?
Whoa.
No, we have Portland, Maine, Sanford, Maine.
Okay.
I don't know, Kittery.
Is this a new thing for you, listening to 108, or have you been listening before and now you've just or are you listening on XM?
No, I'm listening on 108 Sirius. A friend of mine told me to listen today, and actually that's the reason why I'm calling, because I didn't know if you had an issue with gays or not.
No, I don't have. In fact, my wife and I are trying to adopt a gay baby now.
A gay baby?
Yes, we are. My wife and I have been working on that for the last 6 weeks. And we go to the maternity wards where the children have been given up for adoption, and I stick my finger, into their mouths and whatever kind of sucking ability they might have. I turn to my wife and I say, I think we might have one, hon. So don't ever accuse me of that.
That's awesome.
No, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
So that's how you get your baby.
By the way, can I be honest with you, Rebecca? That was so quick, I can't believe I said it. Okay, I'm not usually that fast. But, so no, have you heard anything against? No, we talked about the pirates, the 2 pirate women that I wish that Ellen, you know what I do have a problem with? I love women. And I have a problem. I remember this Susie Orman, who's the economic leader of the gay women. She says that she's never kissed a man, been with a man, nothing, and all of that stuff. And I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, well, my God, before you turn against it, try it one time, for God's sakes. That's all.
But a gay guy could say the same thing to you.
Yeah, but no, I don't think I have anything against gays, but I think it's a quick and easy laugh, and I think that the more you listen to me, you'll realize that I'm always going to go the quick and easy way.
He doesn't like to work.
By the way, prepare yourself for the black humor that everyone's afraid to talk about Barack Obama and all that. Not me.
Not this show.
No, ma'am. We're not afraid. Because it's quick and it's easy. You don't have to think. Okay?
That's true.
Do you have a problem with gays? I guess that's really the question.
Do I? No, I don't. My best friend is gay, and I love him to death.
Boy, that's the template for every racist or bigot when they go, you got a problem with blacks? No, my best friend's black. No. Well, I once ran over a Jew. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you weren't listening yesterday, but I said that if men treated women the way that gay men treat them, then men would do a lot better. I was I eat at a gay a vegetarian restaurant every day that serves nothing but tofu sausages. And I was having
Would you like another sausage,
every
Mr.
day.
Thomas?
And there was this really attractive woman.
Bet you it's not tofu.
And this gay guy, the woman said something or other, and the gay guy turns to her and he meant it. He goes like this, "Oh my God, you love to dance?"
Ah.
And the woman said, "Yes, I love to dance." And he goes, "Oh, you know something? I didn't know if that's what you were into, but you move like a dancer." And I'm watching this and I'm thinking, he means this, okay? And if men listen to women like a gay man, they would do a lot better. Don't you wish straight men, listen to you like your gay friend listens to you, Rebecca?
Yes, but he doesn't listen that well either.
But wouldn't
He's
you
a
like?
bad listener.
But wouldn't you? Are you married, Rebecca?
Oh, that's the end of that.
No, I'm not married.
You have a boyfriend?
Rebecca,
No, I
when
don't.
I say something like that with a big setup, try to agree with me, would you?
Okay.
Yeah, it would be a lot better if you tried to agree with me, huh? So, all right. And you know what I love about homos? They're stately. You ever notice that? Especially the British homosexuals.
You know what I love about...
Hello. They're stately. Everybody in Britain seems gay to me.
One thing I love about gays is that they talk the most shit, and they're great at that. They will cut people down as soon as they leave the room, and I love that about them.
Yeah.
And they always have a complaint about something. Like my old place, I live next to this gay couple, and every time I'd come out to smoke a cigarette, he'd be out there, and I'd be like, "Hey, Charlie, what's going on?" "Let me tell you what's going on. I'm calling 311 is what's going on, okay? This dog across the street has been barking nonstop. I went over there 3 times. Like, they always have an agenda. They always have an issue to handle, something to take care of.
And they don't like people saying things about them, yet they say horrible things about people all the time. All my gossip comes from gay people, and gay people think everybody is gay, Rebecca.
I don't think they think everyone's gay.
Oh, yes, they do.
Please. You kidding me?
I bet you your gay buddy friend there, he could I tell you what, you need to get him to listen to me, and I bet you before the end of my show, between 3 and 6 o'clock Eastern Time, he somehow thinks I'm gay. I'll bet you $10.
He does listen to you, and actually he would probably love to suck your cock, but that's a different story.
What area of town is he in?
By the way, Rebecca, even hearing you say that about a man doing it
It's still
turns me
hot.
on. Okay?
Yeah.
It's because it came out of your mouth. It makes. Let me tell you what.
Do you look
the
like
image
anybody?
of him doing it didn't do anything to me.
Right.
But you saying that he was going to do it, I'm thinking. Where are you, in Portland, Maine?
No, actually, I'm in Acton.
Is there a comedy club there that Julie and I could play?
One show, one night.
I'm sure we could find one.
Well, tell your friend that it's actually it's better to be black than gay, because at least, when you're black, you don't have to tell your parents. You're already that color.
Good point. They're not going to be shocked at any point.
I love
That's
when I had
true.
my friends were going, people would come to visit, and then the two guys would live together, and the parents would be there, and we'd be over at the house, and I'd be going, God, is he ever going to tell them, And they just, no one ever says anything, and then the big gruff dad goes, "Well, that's Mike's roommate," like that. So.
I remember my first call ever to the Stern Show. I had a question for Howard. My question was, you die in a horrible car accident. In the trunk of your car, they either find 500 gay porno tapes, or they find 500 pornos of people crapping on each other. Which do you choose? And being the wise man that he was, he said, the duty tapes, no doubt about it. And I said, why? He goes, well, you want people to come to your funeral, don't you?
Either way, it's gross.
All right.
You're right, baby.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Rebecca, for that incredible...
Do you look like
question.
anybody famous, Rebecca?
No.
I've never heard that answer. People, you can make shit up. It's cool.
You know what I like? You could actually hear the sound coming through her fat little cheeks.
Yeah,
No.
No.
All right.
Yeah.
Rebecca, I'll tell you what. How old are you?
I'm 32.
Even though you're chubby, that young fat is fabulous. We were talking about this yesterday.
It's part of the whole ride. It's
you see
fun.
like a chunky younger woman, and there's something wonderful about that fat. Just try to lose some of it before you're 42. Okay, that's when it starts to be not good. Okay,
because then your ass looks like a billboard.
Okay.
That's awesome.
And you want to hear something else? When you're fat, don't wear one of those juicy things, across the back of your...
People already know it's
I don't
juicy.
know what that's all about. You go to a NASCAR event, and for some reason, every 300-pounder is juicy.
If you're 300 pounds, I know you're juicy. I don't need it written on your ass.
Sean Kelly, let's give Rebecca something.
I know
let's
you're
give
not,
Rebecca
baby.
from Maine something. First-time listener, her gay friend told her to call up, and people say the show isn't for women. Go ahead, Sean Kelly, give it to us.
We don't think you're fat, but we're giving you a treadmill. No,
All right, go ahead.
Congratulations, Rebecca of Maine. Let Me Make This Perfectly Queer by Mondo Fax, the singing judge. It's a CD.
We must have a lot of those laying around, okay? Hey, it's the Jay Thomas Show, and we're waiting for Kenny Mayne to give us a call from ESPN, right? Well, should we go away for another one and come back?
Right now, yeah.
Oh, should we go away and come back to him?
Yep.
Okay, good. We'll be back with Kenny Mayne, the great ESPN announcer, former quarterback, dancer, the whole deal, and wide receiver. I'm sorry.
Quarterback?
No, he's a wide receiver, and he made it to the Seattle Seahawks. By the way,
that's right.
That's how good he was. And don't let anybody tell you, if you get to camp with a pro team, you are unbelievable. You are one of a select few, no matter how skinny and kind of nerdy this Kenny Mayne guy looks like on television. You know this guy is tough. It's the Jay Thomas Show with Shirley, Sirius 108 XM 139.
Jay Thomas. Jay Thomas Show. The afternoon drive show on the new Stars 2. Sirius 108 and XM 139. The new Stars 2. Sirius 108 XM 139. Vinny, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. East. Sirius 6 West. A Me and Vinny replay directly after the show. Maxim Radio with Covino and Rich. Noon to 3 p.m. East. 9 a.m. to noon West. Maxim Radio with Covino and Rich replayed from 9 till midnight East. The Jay Thomas Show. 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. East. The Jay Thomas Show replay starts at 6 p.m. East. The new Stars 2. The new Stars 2. The new Stars 2. Sirius 108 and XM 139.
Most weekends, going to the mall could help you change your wardrobe or home for the better, but this weekend, it could change your whole life. Because this weekend, you can experience a major breakthrough in sleep technology, the Sleep Number bed, an innovative revolution in comfort that can offer no less than a wonderful night's sleep for an individual or a couple, simply because you control your total comfort. Everyone can discover their Sleep Number at a select comfort store. It's fast, fun, and free. Visit us this weekend to discover your Sleep Number on our newest, most advanced sleep systems with temperature control materials. What can happen when you find that number? Well, among other things, a better night's sleep. Sleep Number by Select Comfort. It's the bed that counts. Call 1-800-656-3700 for your free information kit with DVD, brochure, model guide, and price list. Call now and you'll also receive a special $50 thank you gift card just for inquiring. That's 1-800-656-3700. Call now.
About 2 or 3 months ago, I started having money problems. Ever since then, I've had a pretty hard time keeping up with the bills. The worst part is I can't make the house payments. So when the phone started to ring and I knew it was the mortgage people calling, I didn't pick it up. I just couldn't. And the notices were coming in the mail too. Lots of them. Now I may lose my house and I don't know what to do.
If you're facing foreclosure, doing nothing only puts you deeper in the hole.
Now's the time to dig yourself out. Call 1-888-995-HOPE today. That's 1-888-995-4673. Because nothing is worse than doing nothing. A public service announcement brought to you by NeighborWorks, the ad counselor in this station.
The Jay Thomas Show. Jay Thomas. Stars 2. The curious. The extreme. The fascinating. Jay Thomas is on the new Stars 2. Sirius 108 and XM 139.
Body softly swaying to that smoky beat down on Main Street. Down on Main Street.
We just got a call from Kenny Mayne that they're shooting something, Sean, and he would only be able to be on for a minute or two.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
We want to spend more time with Kenny Mayne.
It wasn't right just to have him on for a minute.
He's a funny dude, man.
You know what? I almost didn't want to have him on. You know, we've had him on before. But then you read about the guy, and he was a wide receiver that made it all the way up to the pros and stuff. And, you know, my thing is, it would be nice if some announcers played even, you know, touch football.
Right. Flag,
like when Dennis Miller...
Powder puff. We don't care. Anything.
When Dennis Miller got on Monday Night Football, you know, they had talked to Rush Limbaugh, right? And Rush Limbaugh, I think, was like just a big fat guy in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. Never played any sports. Dennis never played any sports either. He may be a sports nut and everything else. And people would always say to me, were you ever considered for that? No, I wasn't even, you know, in the running because, you know, Dennis was much more famous than I was. But I think one reason why he failed is that, one, he wasn't a sports announcer, but two, he had no concept of what it was like. You may not make it all the way, but if you have played any sport on any level, it's kind of the same. Guys act the same. I mean, you know, women do too. You know, I was watching the women's USA soccer team today in the gym against France. And you're looking at that, and you know, they're slapping each other on the ass. There's that camaraderie and all, you know, it's all the same. But if you don't get to some sport somewhere, I don't think you ought to be an announcer. You gotta have played high school. You gotta have been in a gym. You gotta have done something. I just don't.
Do you think Marv Albert played anything, or Al Michaels?
I like Marv as an announcer. I don't think any of his kids. Doesn't he have like 19 kids that are announcing?
And they're all announcing, and they all stink, yeah.
Yes!
Kenny Albert is one.
Kenny.
And then you're always surprised.
For men look.
You're always surprised at the people that were athletes. You know, Woody Allen, who I did a play for a few years back, was actually a terrific athlete as a kid. He was a great, I think he was a third baseman.
He was gold medal in whining in the Olympics.
Right. But he was actually a really good athlete, right? And loves baseball and stuff. But if he were an announcer, he could actually talk about, you know, situations in the game. And I know they're nerds that collect information. You know the coach of Notre Dame, this guy, Weiss?
Yeah, Charlie Weiss.
Never played a down of football. Did you know that?
And he's bigger than any lineman you'll see in college or pros.
When he hurt his knee, he got knocked, his knee got blown. His press conference was, wow, so this is what that feels like, right? He had no idea what it felt like. He was a statistician who worked for, I guess, Belichick and for Bill Parcells at the Giants, the Jets, and at the Patriots.
Right.
And would put together, you know, the game plan or whatever and do all the stats and, you know, the tendencies of third down and long, what the other team would do. And he became an NFL coach. Now, I don't know. I mean, I get, there's not many people do that, but some people get to, you know, to be a coach who didn't do it. But I think it's better if you kind of know what the people are going through. So, but anyway, I was always surprised at Kenny Mayne. I don't know who, you know the guy from ESPN, the Boomer, whatever, Chris Berman?
Chris Berman.
He's a gigantic guy. I don't know if he played any sports or not, you know. I don't know.
I think he just spent most of the time scaring children. He used to hang out with Walton, I think, back in the day.
No, he didn't.
No, those two were big Deadheads. Berman is a big Grateful Dead fan, and I think him and Bill Walton used to hang out a lot.
Or if you just smoke dope with jocks, I think that allows you to be, you know, in the thing. But, you know, reporters, like the other day, a reporter, they asked the coach of the Detroit Lions, Rod Marinelli, if he wishes he had a whole nother team. Do you have that audio? I don't know if you, I'm sorry to throw it to you like this. And, you know, it's just somebody knowing good and well that it's embarrassing, it's insulting, you know, they're 0-10 or whatever it is. And the poor coach, what's he going to say? You know, he had to say, well, I'm going to play with the players I've got and the whole thing. And as I'm watching it, I'm thinking, maybe that's what you're thinking, but what do you say to some poor bastard who's 0-10? For God's sakes, you know, drives you nuts. Steve of the Adirondacks, Adiron, those mountains that run in that area, Adiron, and the chair of the same name. Yes, Steve, go ahead.
I thought maybe you could interview Farley Mowat. You ever heard of him? He's a Canadian. He lived with the Inuit, the inland Inuit Eskimos. He has a
Farley Mowat lived with the Inuit.
With an M, Mowat.
Farley Mowat. Now, what do you find interesting about Farley Mowat? He lived with the Indians where? Like modern-day Indians?
Eskimos he lived with.
Right. And did he...
not modern. In the 1940s, he did it.
So he lived in the 40s. So he's a much older gentleman, right?
Yes, very old. It's like Studs Terkel almost. Old.
He's an old, like an 85-year-old, like the famous writer who just passed away from Chicago. And what does he say, Steve? Where have you heard him interviewed?
Well, I did hear him recently because he had a new book out. I don't know the name of it, but it was on public radio on a Sirius radio channel.
I see. And what
he wrote People of the Deer. That was way back. He's like from the time of Margaret Mead and all that stuff.
Margaret Mead, the great anthropologist, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you, when he's talking about these Eskimos, because this is the question I'd have to ask. You know, Shuli, when you would go to visit an Eskimo, the Eskimo man would say to you, you're his guest,
right,
would you like to laugh with my wife? Did you ever hear this?
No, I have not.
I'm not joking.
I have not heard of this.
Would you like to laugh with my wife? And that meant, would you like to, and it's cold, you were allowed to get in under the blankets, under the reindeer skins, and have sex with the Eskimo guy's wife to stay warm, and they called it laughing with your wife.
Well, they called it laughing because it was so fucking cold. Your penis was an inch, and that's it. It was shrinkage.
That's right.
And the woman would go, ah!
Now, Steve, if we had this old guy on there, we'd have to ask him, does he talk about laughing with any of the Eskimos' wives?
In his book, People of the Deer, he talks about, I think they were song cousins, they call, and the guy would leave to visit his song cousin, and when he got there, he would sleep with the,
Did he do it? Did he do it? Did the old guy do it?
Don't know.
Hey, the guy on the phone, are you an Eskimo?
I know.
I'm a Jew.
Get out of here.
You know what?
Where
you know
would
what
I
the
go?
Jews do? You know what the Jews do? They go, would you like to complain with my wife? And you get under the, you know. I've actually had two good ones. What about adopting the gay baby?
That was
And
fucking
would you
funny.
like to complain to my wife? All right, Steve, sure. We'll book him, sure.
I thought he was an Eskimo. I was going to ask him to rub his phone across the tennis rackets on his feet.
For those of you wondering, is this show ever going to get any better? No, this is about it for us. It's Sirius Stars 108, and we're going to come back on XM 139 also. Shuli is here. Don't forget, every Friday morning on Howard 101 on XM and Sirius, we're there also. All right?
The best in sports is now on Sirius and XM. Hear every NFL game, the NBA, MLB, and NHL. College sports, including the ACC, Pac-10, Big Ten, SEC, Big East, and Big 12. Racing from NASCAR and the IndyCar Series. International sports from Barclays, Premier League, and Wimbledon. Plus hosts like John Madden, Tony Stewart, and me, Mad Dog Radio's Christopher Russo. Everything worth listening to is on Sirius and XM. Find out more at Sirius.com and XMRadio.com.
Let's talk about sex.
Not getting any? Or do you just want more? Introducing Viaprint Strips, the next generation sexual performance product designed to take your libido to the next level. Millions of people suffer from stress and anxiety, which hinders desire for intimacy. Viaprint Strips will not only revive your sex life, it will give you the control you need to be the champion she needs. Easy to use Viaprint Strips go to work instantly so you decide when the time is right. Simply slip a strip under your tongue and within minutes you'll start to feel the Viaprint experience. Spine-tingling, toe-curling euphoria that will keep her coming back for more. And if you share it, it's twice the fun. Because they know that once you feel the Viaprint experience, you'll be calling back for more. They're giving away free packs of Viaprint Strips just for calling today. So hurry while supplies last.
Call now to find out how to receive your free pack of Viaprint. 1-800-337-5186. Again, that's 1-800-337-5186. Better sex is just a discreet phone call away. 1-800-337-5186. 1-800-337-5186. Call now.
Rock and roll legend Tom Petty has his very own music show, Buried Treasure, where he takes you into his very own record collection.
Hey, it's Tom Petty, and I'm going to be playing some music. You know, you may not ever heard some things that you might know real well, but I tell you what, it's going to make you feel good. So good!
Each week on Buried Treasure, Tom hosts his exclusive music show, available to Sirius and XM listeners.
Check us out for the best in rock, rhythm, and blues.
Tune in as Tom introduces musical treasures from the likes of Chuck Berry, Van Morrison, Ray Charles, The Who, and many more.
The Who doing the Young Man Blues.
Ain't got nothing in the world these days.
Catch new episodes of Buried Treasure, Thursdays, 11 a.m. Eastern on Deep Tracks, Sirius 16 and XM 40. Everything worth listening to is now on Sirius and XM. Go to Sirius.com or XMRadio.com for show schedule, including encore times.
Jay Thomas Show. The afternoon drive show on the new Stars 2, Sirius 108 and XM 139.
Love Devo. Play it. Play some Devo. Play it. Thomas here, Sirius 108, XM 139, 8884-102-102. It's a free call. Don't worry about it. Shuli is here from Howard 100 News and, of course, Howard 101, and we'll do that on Friday mornings, Eastern Time from 7 to 10 and across the nation from 4 to 7 o'clock. That's right. People are, they're just learning about the show and they want to go, what is kind of your motto? The PR department. Well, my motto is every time a friend succeeds, I die a little. That's my motto. That's the thing that I kind of live by. I have buddies that are on TV shows. I did TV forever, and it's so simple. You work, and then you go to lunch, and then the show goes down for like a week, every 3 weeks, if it's a successful show.
Right.
And they have to edit the show or put music in, and they're off a week every 3 weeks. It's called hiatus.
Right.
And if you get hooked on to one of these CSI shows or whatever, buddies of mine,
about it.
Even if you're the fourth one down, you're going to make like $10,000 an episode.
Wow.
You're going to make $220,000 at least. And that's, that's in 6 months. You only work 6-7 months to do. I know. And, this isn't hard what we do, but, what would your motto be, Shuli? Your life
first
motto.
few rows may get wet.
I don't think that's a good motto.
Well, listen, it's always stuck in my head. My first trip to SeaWorld, I remember that sign, and I will never forget it. It was at the Shamu show.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, first few rows may get wet. And boy, they were right. I got soaked.
Here are some magazine titles and articles that you'll never see. One of them is 5 kids who make your kids look sick. These are articles that were turned down. These are magazines. I was talking to you earlier. There's not a lap dance magazine that goes around to strip clubs, and you love strip clubs and all the Howard Stern thing. It would be a monthly magazine that would go to strip clubs, and they would, the dumb strippers would read it, and they would have top 10 questions for strippers, and, you know, you'd have a medical thing, you know. I mean, how many strip clubs are there in the United States? A couple of thousand,
God,
right?
yeah, a couple of thousand. It's huge. Yeah. It's a huge industry.
Yeah, lap dance. Do you like the title? Lap Dance Magazine?
Absolutely. Yeah. Or Grind. Something like that.
You know what? Grind is...
Knee to the balls weekly.
No, but lap dance is kind of what they do, and it's you know what it is, but it's not sexual. You know?
Right.
And it's like, and you open it up, and it's a glossy, you know?
Yeah.
And now... if we started it, we'd probably make money. Why is it that these other idiots that I interview start things? We never do any of this. I guess you'd have to, like, do it, right?
Yeah, you'd have to, like, not do this and really focus on that. And
Cocker Spaniel Annual is a magazine. Can you believe that?
That I can't believe.
I wanted to start a money magazine once called Gimme. Just gimme. Just gimme. And it's just about greed and, you know, stuff like... Here's one. You ready?
Yeah.
The Shining, formerly Bald World.
Ah.
No good, huh?
I want to do one for all Jews called What Now? That's it. Just like that. What Now?
Now, I guarantee you that if you had a magazine called Poor Housekeeping, you'd have 10 times the circulation of Good Housekeeping, right? Because you never go in anybody's house that's... You ever go into people's house? When I was a kid, my mom had a house was perfect, and there was an odor in other people's house, and there would be, you know, crap everywhere, you know.
It was the worst.
Was your mother a good housekeeper?
No, but she hired a good housekeeper when I was in junior high. Yeah, my mom. Let me tell you something. If my mom cooked in the kitchen, everyone in my family knew about it. You know why? No, because she went around and told you, I spent time in the kitchen today. Enjoy what you are eating. Don't forget. She told my dad when he wanted to marry her, she says, look, she goes, I'll give you kids and I'll be your wife, but I ain't cooking. She said, you have to cook. And my dad.
Your father's the cook?
Yeah.
Well, I'm the cook in my house.
Yeah, my dad.
But I enjoy it.
As my dad say, if I don't cook, we starve.
Tom of Chicago, the Jay Thomas Show. Yes, Tom. Thank you. How are you, Tom? You've been listening before, or is this your first time listener?
Many times.
Oh, you've heard the show when it was on 102, right?
Yes.
We were replaced by Dr. Laura over there. Imagine that.
Horrible.
No, but imagine my core listener of, you know, at least 1,100 people tuning in over there. And
Dr. Laura's taking a call, and the guy's like, can we talk to the woman with the largest pickle farm?
You know what? You always make fun of my guests, don't you?
I love your guests. No, listen, it's one of a kind. You don't see anybody else interviewing these people.
The woman in Mississippi took pickles and put them into Kool-Aid.
About 2 weeks ago, the woman whose miniature poodle was attacked by a deer, and she went out and fought the deer off.
But the poodle had Down syndrome.
Oh my God! How did I forget that?
That's right. The poodle had Down syndrome, so it came out there with a big smile on its face.
Thought it was a ride. He didn't know what the fuck that deer was.
You know, the people with Down syndrome, they're the happiest people in the world.
Wait, now I remember. She goes, the poodle has Down syndrome, and Jay says, does he look Asian, the dog?
Does he look like a Shih Tzu? That Shih Tzu kind of look. Yeah. By the way, we haven't really cranked up our guests yet, so we will soon. Yes, Tom of Chicago, go ahead. What can we do for you?
I'm crossing Lake Pontchartrain, and the traffic stopped the oversized loaded double-wide trailer. It's stuck on the
Lake Pontchartrain. Yeah, that's where my studio is there. When I broadcast from New Orleans, I crossed that beautiful bridge. So, and so that's terrible because it's only, it's double lane on each side, but it's a mess, right?
Yeah, it's a mess. Anyway, that's how I'm calling about Shuli's slogan that he liked, the first 2 rows will get wet.
Mm-hmm.
Years ago, I was in Las Vegas with a bunch of buddies, and my friend was a high roller, and they invited us to see the show. It was Gallagher, and we're walking in, there's about 10 of us, and I see that everybody's covered in plastic. So me and my one friend, they're taking us up to the front of the very front table. And me and this other guy, we go make a sharp left. We go sit way in the back on the side. And the other guys all get seated right up against the stage. And of course, he starts squirting and he's shooting stuff. And all of a sudden, my friend stands up and he whips the folding chair at Gallagher's head. And you see this chair.
You mean he was pissed off that Gallagher was getting everybody wet?
Yeah, he was getting soaked and he didn't appreciate it. And he stood up in the chair he was sitting on. He whips it at Gallagher, and you see this white folding chair. And I go, holy shit. I said, he's going to jail. And, so this group of they rush down, and I go, he's going to jail. Well, he had won $40,000 earlier in the day, so he wasn't going to jail.
He won $40,000.
Yeah, he won $40,000 earlier that day.
Now, how did Gallagher handle this?
Oh, no, this is great. Now, Gallagher walks off, and he's fuming. I mean, he's fuming.
Because he's not the greatest guy in the world, surely, Gallagher.
Oh, no, he's got a chip on his shoulder.
Oh, yeah, he's pissed. And he thinks he's some sort of political statesman or something, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah.
So, Tom of Chicago, stuck on Lake Pontchartrain. How did Gallagher handle it?
Okay, so he goes off. They sit my buddy back down in the seats, and they go talk to Gallagher. He comes back out after about 5 minutes. They don't kick my friend out. You think they just tell him, hey, why don't you guys go have a drink somewhere? They leave him sit there. Gallagher comes back out. Well, for the next 15 minutes, he called my friend every name in the book. Jerk off, cocksucker, you name it. And then he went out in the show, and then every chance he could reference back to the asshole in the front seat, in the front row, he would. But,
hey, who works out? Not this asshole in the front row, but who goes to a gym, you cocksucker?
Exactly.
Oh, man.
Hey,
well, I got to tell you, I saw Gallagher in the outfit at LAX about 6 months ago. And he had on the suspenders and the whole deal. And I guess he had performed somewhere and he landed. And, I figure, we're kind of brethren, brothers in arms. And I go over and I said, hey, how you doing, Jay Thomas, like that. And he looks at me like, I had just taken a dump on his shoe, And then somebody said to me that may not have been Gallagher. That may have been his brother. Yeah. And I said, what do you mean? They go, well, Gallagher got sick or something, right?
I think his brother just stole his act.
No, I think he got sick or something happened, and he let his brother go out on the road.
Oh, you might be right, yeah.
And
you're supposed to do it for a certain amount of time and then stop. And
he wouldn't stop.
He wouldn't stop, right.
Right.
Yeah.
So he became the new Gallagher or whatever. So I said, no, I think that was the real Gallagher. And then I read an article where he thinks he makes some sort of a political statement. Tom of Chicago, did he make any political statement that night?
No, not that. This is, the Sands Hotel was still open in Las Vegas.
All right.
Tom
of Chicago,
Gallagher was...
Hey,
Jay.
Yeah. What's the new restaurant? Last time I was here, you told me to go to Giacomo's. What's my new
I'll
place
tell you a cool place to go. Go on Magazine Street and find a place called you want a wild place? You want to hey, you know what? I think there's belly dancing on Wednesday nights.
It's guys, though.
It's called, it's a Greek restaurant on Magazine Street. If it's not Milos, it always has some kind of, but it's a Greek restaurant in around the 3000 block of Magazine Street. I think Wednesday night, it's $3 martinis and belly dancing.
Can't go wrong with
$3 martinis.
Yeah, $3 martinis. And I want to tell you, go to Magazine Street around Magazine and like 7th Street, and it's there's a if not, the Bulldog is a great place to go have a drink and eat also. But that's about a block from my house. But I'm pretty sure tonight is belly dancing night. Wednesday night. $3. Terrible. I go there all the time. It's either Milos or something LOS.
Okay.
But okay, so have a good time. Go on Magazine Street and around the 3000 block. Ask where the Greek restaurant is, and see if it's not tonight. It's on Thursday nights, but I think it's Wednesday nights. Okay.
All right, buddy. Thanks.
Have a good time.
They had Gallagher up here for a day, and he did like a bunch of shows, and then they brought him into that first studio, the one we play the Family Feud in. They call it the Fish Bowl. And it's all made of glass, so you can see the performers in there. And they go, listen, at noon you got to come down because Gallagher's going to smash stuff live on, Raw Dog or something. And we're like, all right. It's kind of like if you ever worked in a restaurant and it's somebody's birthday and then somebody comes to you and goes, hey, we got to go sing the happy birthday song for table 9. Yeah. And all of us are like, oh, do we have to go watch Gallagher? So we're standing by the side watching Gallagher through the glass. And it really, I look through the line of people watching. And you ever see the Taliban video of them, like, executing people, and they make the villagers watch? Like, that's the look everybody had on their face, like, we have to watch this. And Frank DeCaro from the OutQ show, who's hilarious, Gallagher's about to smash a melon, and I go, Frank, what do you think of this? And Frank goes, we've been smashing fruit on our show for a lot longer than he has.
All right. Carl of New Hampshire, the Jay Thomas Show. Yes, Carl, how are you? By the way, you can email us at jthomas.com, and to find out where Shuley is performing, it's Jew Gone Wild or Rev Bob Levy. You'll find out where he is. Carl of New Hampshire, go ahead.
Jay, Shuley, a couple of points you brought up on today's show I thought are very salient. First of all,
can I ask a question? Do you have no job at all, and you can listen for the entire 3 hours?
I'm an independent trucker, Jay. I'm an owner-operator, so that's you're my lifeblood, brother.
I see. So you're in the truck, you're like stuck in traffic, and okay, good. I just check it. Go ahead. Yeah.
Exactly. A couple things you brought up, very salient points. That poor woman taking care of Ted Kennedy, the size of his head. That's like someone coming along saying, hey, can you watch my weather balloon for a minute? And then they never come back.
Yeah, she's like 30 years old. She's 30 years old. He marries her when he's like 70. And, of course, he's immensely wealthy. He's an overweight, got the drinker's head, got the drinker's nose. The back's been out for 45 years. And she's an attractive woman. And, yes, I felt the same way, that all she was missing was a string, right? And he,
can you hold my weather balloon? And I'll be right back.
Yeah. So
the other thing, Jay, these Somali pirates, I mean, I don't know why this isn't a bigger story. Like you said, you can't hide. At some point, you got to climb up the ship. I mean, one guy with a rifle, and then if you get the tanker, where are you going? Like, are you going to Jersey, and then they're going to say, yeah, we found the tanker empty in the Meadowlands.
Right.
I mean, the 2 million gallons of crude.
This tanker.
What do they do with that?
This tanker is it's like a.
Don't expect a high-speed getaway either.
It's a 20 million ton tanker. It's a gigantic tanker. It has a crew of 25. These speedboats come at it. They are 400 miles from shore. And it's the Cape of, Good Horn, or wherever the hell it is, Good Head. The Cape of Good Head.
It's got to be 80 feet from the rail down to where the speedboats are. Minimum.
It's got to be. And you're right. And for some reason, and first of all, the hull is a double hull. So even if they shot a rocket into it, it may not pierce it. And while they're shooting, you would have plenty of time. But by the way, the Navy is out there. The British Navy, I believe, the Kenyan Navy, the Indian Navy. There's 3 or 4 navies out there helping out, right? So you'd call in an airstrike, right? And they let them climb up and get into the cockpit.
What, they slow down for them and everything?
Yeah, they sail it into Somalia. Yeah. Now, there's no food in Somalia. There's no food in Somalia. There's nothing to eat. Kids in Somalia want to grow up to be pirates because the coast towns are the streets are paved with gold because these guys are given, millions and millions of dollars.
You know what their demands are?
What are they?
1 million Somalians.
It's gotten so bad. I saw an ad for a pirate's helper that preferred experience with speedboats. You know what it says on the side of the ship, Shuley?
Huh.
First 2 rows might get wet.
I love it.
All right.
Good call back. All of them. Good call. Good call.
Ryan of Massachusetts, the Jay Thomas Show. Yes, Ryan, how are you?
Good. What's up, Jay? What's up, Shuley?
What's up, Ryan?
Good.
Hey, Shuley, just have to give you a props. Saw you on Worcester at the Palladium. You guys are great.
Thank you, buddy.
Hey, Jay, saw you on Boston Legal a couple weeks ago.
Does everybody in Massachusetts watch that? Is that a big show for you folks?
I don't know. I doubt it. It's pretty liberal, but you were great.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I played the angry Jew, Ian Hooperman.
Yes, you were quite the angry Jew.
The angry horseback riding Jew, Ian Hooperman. Yeah.
Well, you played it very well.
Well, thank you.
Quick question: how is Spader? Is he a cool guy?
You know what? I know Shatner much better, so I get there, and Spader, I'm a fan of his, think he's great.
Yep.
And what's funny is when you first see him, he's pudgy. It's like we remember him as the young, handsome guy. So he's kind of pudgy, and he's got a little poodle, And so he's walking around kind of pudgy with the poodle, and he's not immediately friendly, right? So you're right. I'm thinking all of that, right?
Right.
So he's got a chair that looks different than all the other chairs that you sit in. They put chairs out for you, right? Well, I'm used to being, just sit down somewhere. I sit in his chair.
Uh-oh.
And it's shaped differently and it looks different. And he comes up with the poodle, and he's unable to have any kind of confrontation. He can't confront people. So he turns around and he walks away, and a woman comes up to me. She goes, Jay, you can't sit in his chair.
Oh, that is
and
the
I
most
went, oh my God. So I get up and I move, but he doesn't sit in the chair. Two people come in, take the chair, attach it to like a cart. It's taken outside, and I said, "Well, he didn't sit in it." She goes, "I know, it has to be fumigated."
Get out of here!
He's a germaphobe, and they fumigated the chair. Right? They fumigate the chair. So the next day I come back and I sit, and Shatner's a great guy.
I would have sat in that and farted all over.
Well, no. So then after a couple of days. He doesn't know who I am. He's never seen me before, doesn't know anything. And we start doing a scene where he has to pull my hand and my boot and try and get me off of Shatner. Well, he doesn't like touching people. So, I tell him I washed my hands and my boots are clean. I make like a little joke. So he laughs. And he started, he loosened up, and he was a very nice guy. And I said, please come on the radio show. It would be fun to talk to you about sex lies and videotapes and all the stuff you've done in Boston Legal. And he said, I am absolutely frightened to death to be interviewed. Apparently, he's never been on Letterman or anything,
no,
I don't think.
I don't remember ever seeing
He's a nice guy. What amazes me is how people can be in show business, and I'll never understand it. And I'm sure, you're the same way. They are not outgoing.
Right.
And they are frightened to death. I don't know how they auditioned or got anything, but, he turned out to be and married with a new baby and the whole deal and the poodle and all of that. And so he was a great guy. He was a great guy. And he and Shatner are close friends, and it was very nice. Now, they both get pissy. I'll tell you that. They've been on the air a long time, but they both get pissy. So it's hot, and there's horses, and we're all around, and all of a sudden one of them goes, "All right, can we just shoot this thing? Come on!" Like that. Oh yeah. And you're wearing like a cowboy outfit, and there's flies everywhere.
I think of that, man. I think of being in a crawl space doing plumbing, soldering a fucking copper pipe together, and I hear Shatner in my head going, "It's hot. Can we shoot this, please?"
Yes. Well, but
it's hot.
And then when the star yells, male or female, everybody gets quiet, and they usually pick on some person that, is
the lowest on the totem pole. Yeah.
And they'll go like this.
Hey, Gaffer, get over here.
They'll go like this. Here's the one. This is hot water, okay? Benny, when I want a drink, I don't want it hot. I'm already hot, Benny. And you're thinking, oh, my God. And this poor bastard that'll be a producer one day. No wonder they grow up to hate actors.
Yeah, it's just the circle of life. They shit on the next person that they can, and that's how it goes. It never ends.
I was backstage with, I'm the worst. With, who was on L.A. Law and worked with me on Love and War? Susan Day. And so I had made a bunch of jokes with the crew. I'm starring in this television show, Love and War. I'm so excited, right? I'm the star of a TV show. That's it. My life is made. I'll never have to work anything again.
Feet her up on the desk.
It's over. So I fool around with the cameraman, and make a crotch joke and whatever like that. She pulls me aside. She says, listen, if this is the way it's going to be, I don't think I can, do this. And I'm thinking, what do you mean? She goes, well, I know you're friendly with all these guys and all, but it's a lot of like crotch jokes and stuff like that. And I go, oh, okay, I'll like, watch it. So we would stand in this hall and we would enter. And she turned to me one time and she said, I was on LA Law and Stephen Bochco once told me that I needed a big cock in me to straighten me out. Like that.
Wow.
And then they go, action! And you walk, like that. So she had said all of these things about how I should never say cock, never make any sex jokes, and Stephen Bochco had said horrible things to her on LA Law. She's completely nuts, right? I'm starring in my own show and my then she says, do we have to kiss so much? She says. And the producer says, well, yes, you're in love. You have to kiss.
That's how it works.
That's how it works. And you're on the set going, oh, my God. Now you see your life going in front of you, your whole thing. So after all of this, one night, we're backstage. I haven't been funny in about a month, right? I looked scared to death. A guy at a golf course said, oh, I saw you in that show. You look like you're a girl, okay? You ought to be the woman in that show. Like that. And I'm thinking, God. I go back home, I go, God. Like, she says to me before we enter, oh, man, I feel great tonight. I said, why? She goes, my husband gave it to me right up my ass.
Whoa!
I swear to God. And action. And of course, it is nuts. People are absolutely nuts. And I'm sure if you met her or by the way, I don't think she ever worked again. If you met her or talked to her or whatever, she would say it's a lie, it's not true.
Jay, I killed a baby chicken and ate it. Action!
Action. Oh, yeah. Listen, here's another one. I was on the same show, and this actor would walk out, and he couldn't get a laugh on a line, right? So he would walk out, and he couldn't get a laugh on a line. So he comes back, and we're standing backstage, and they reset the lights, and everybody's getting ready, and this makeup and all. He says, God, I just can't get a laugh on that line, I said, you know what, maybe you're talking a little too quickly. Why don't you do the line, and then just hold for a beat,
Right.
And let them hear it, and he goes, hey, okay, I'll try that.
Little pause. Never hurt.
Action. Action. Comes out, he goes, well... So then she got up and ran the mile in 4 minutes. And he holds. And it's dead silence. Dead silence. They call cut. He goes back. He goes, don't you ever tell an actor what to do. Don't you And I'm thinking, you were asking my opinion, and I gave you a little suggestion. That was all. They are absolutely... Now, when this same actor... A woman is on the show playing my girlfriend. Mm. And so we're walking in and everything else. We're standing backstage. All of a sudden, this actor comes around the corner. I'll tell you off the air who he is.
Right.
Comes around the corner, big, handsome guy, and he goes, oh, hello, Linda, like that. And Linda looks at him and turns completely white. And he goes around the corner, and I go, what's that? She goes, oh, God, he's on this show? I said, yeah. She goes, he was in my acting class. I go, acting class? This guy's been around for like 30 years. He goes to acting classes to get laid.
Of course.
A lot of older actors.
That's his singles bar,
Absolutely. A lot of older actors still go to acting classes because they're going to get laid. And she said he must have overheard me saying that I just broke up with somebody who was in a terrible divorce. And he comes up to me and he says, listen, here's my card. If you would like to just talk sometime, have coffee, or maybe just fuck, give me a call. Like that. And I'm now she's playing my girlfriend, right? And she goes, and now when I see him, it upsets me so much. And I go, really? Action! And we walk out again. And to me, it was like everything was stacked against me. I mean, and by the way, Susan Day ended up leaving the show. And then, so, Shuli, I got to tell you, these guys that make it 7, 8, 9 years on a television show, and they're making like hundreds of $1,000s an episode.
Right.
Right? Oh, my God. And then a guy like me and the entire universe worked against me. And after something horrible happened, action! Like that. It would be like, I expected to be with my wife one night and I go, my God, my penis doesn't work. Action! You know.
You're on!
Like that. By the way, your dog's dead. What? Action! You know. Get in there. All right. It's the Jay Thomas Show with Shuley, and it's Sirius 108, and it's XM 139.
The Jay Thomas Show. Jay Thomas. Stars 2. The curious. The extreme. The fascinating. Jay Thomas is on the new Stars 2. Sirius 108 and XM 139. On Stars 2, the new morning show is Me and Vinny with Vinny Politan. Me and Vinny.
Coming up Thursday on Me and Vinny, we'll talk about that case down in Florida. Casey Anthony, the woman with the missing baby Kaylee. What's the status of that case? Also, you know, you can do just about anything with duct tape. And we've got the duct tape experts who are going to join us. Me and Vinny, Thursday.
Me and Vinny, where the me is you. Me and Vinny. Weekday mornings at 6 a.m. East. It's the new morning show on Stars 2, Sirius 108 and XM 139.
What would you do for a Klondike bar? What would you do for a date with a Maxim hottie? Well, I'm Rich Davis. That is Steve Covino. You guys know us from Maxim Radio. Klondike Bar and Maxim Radio are giving 3 lucky listeners the chance to show us exactly what they would do to win a date with Maxim hottie Taryn Southern. You have to listen to Maxim Radio with us, Covino and Rich, Friday, November 21st, 2 p.m. Eastern, and you find out who wins the date with Taryn and $1,000. Win a date with a Maxim hottie exclusively from Maxim Radio and Klondike. What would you do, for a Klondike Bar and a date with a Maxim hottie?
If you're into eBay or just want to make an unbelievable amount of money selling stuff on the internet, then grab a pen to write down a number that could change your life forever.
So far, I've done 100,000 in gross sales.
Generate massive cash selling products you don't have to see, store, or even pay for. Everything you need to get started making money on the internet is on a free CD from Internet Speedway. Call 1-800-436-9022. 1-800-436-9022. 1-800-436-9022.
Are you worried about making money in this economy? Well, I'm not, and you shouldn't be either. Hi, I'm Laurel Langmeyer. The strategies I'm teaching right now can put new money in your bank account in the next 4 to 6 weeks.
Best-selling author and millionaire maker Laurel Langmeyer has personally coached hundreds of people into financial freedom. Laurel can teach you how to grow your bank account fast, even in this economy.
My experience in the first 4 months, I walked away with almost $300,000.
Did you know that fortunes are made in recessions? I can show you how to make more money this year than ever before.
Get started with Laurel's book, Millionaire Maker, and her powerful CD, Creating Massive Wealth in Today's Economy, a $75 value.
You can do this. And to get started, I'm going to give you a copy of my best-selling book and a bonus CD for free.
Just pay a small shipping fee and you can put new money in your bank account in the next 4 to 6 weeks. Call 1-800-514-9684 for your free book and CD. That's 800-514-9684. 800-514-9684.
Jay Thomas. Jay Thomas Show. The afternoon drive show on the new Stars 2, Sirius 108 and XM 139.
Pink Floyd.
You say the hill's too steep to climb.
I don't think I can go on after this. This makes me want to sit in a chair with a cocktail and a joint. What are you, nuts?
I was watching Live at Pompeii, the DVD, Pink Floyd. It's them playing in Pompeii in a Coliseum with all their shit, all their equipment, no audience. No audience. Playing live. And
you mean Pompeii? What do you mean Pompeii? It's like there's no Pompeii.
It's what's left. It's what's left of it. Like in the ruins of Pompeii, these guys did a concert for no one. That's how fucking high they were. And they brought a gong out there. Like, you know you're high in a band when you got a gong in the band.
So they fly to Italy.
Yeah.
Pompeii's in Italy,
right?
And they set up, and it was for a video or something.
For a movie. They made a movie back in the 70s, I think. Earlier. Well, no. This one's called Live in Pompeii. And they just remastered it, and they put it out on DVD. And it's mixed in with that footage of the concert footage of them in the studio, and NASA footage.
You know, for stoners, Pink Floyd is like a baton in a race. You know, they just, one generation hands off the baton to the next stoner
And I bet you any amount of money these guys never smoked weed once. I bet you they were just all psychedelic shit, probably. I don't.
You mean like acid?
Like LSD, acid, yeah.
Right. By the way, we do get emails at jthomas.com.
You've got mail.
Mike Craig from Grinnell, Iowa. He said there's a woman in my town who wants to change a state law that requires mentally disabled voters to be supervised when they cast their ballot. Brenda Lydon, Lyddon, of Deep River, which is a town near ours, says she was upset when her 26-year-old son, who is apparently mentally disabled, was put into a bus against her wishes and taken down to a voting place and made to vote, even though he doesn't have the mental capacity to decide for himself.
Well, let me guess which party got him on a bus to come in and vote.
What do you think that's Democrats or Republicans?
Oh, I think that's totally Republicans.
I was thinking it's Democrats.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
They card up the mentally disabled. Of course, you know, Ira the weatherman, who many of you haven't met yet, he was, working the phones for Barack Obama. But,
Ira would have gotten on that bus in 2 seconds. If you throw some streamers on the side of a bus and some nice paint, you can pick up the mentally challenged. It's not a problem.
Aaron Schultz has sent this email.
Schultzy, baby.
I don't know if this has been covered on the show or if this is the right place to send this email, but I looked up Rodney Lee Conover on Wikipedia. Apparently anything written about him was deleted on November 7th, and the site says a stand-up comedian with a limited career.
Wow.
I don't know if that's on Wikipedia, but
I don't even want to see if that's what they're saying about Rodney. I don't even want to see what's up online.
Are you on Wikipedia? They must have.
I don't know.
Surely. Mac in Abita Springs, Louisiana. Jay, I retell your stories to my girlfriend, but I always add an outrageous ending that involves jail time or violence just for kicks. So he retells my story.
He edits your shit. That's great.
For instance, I told your David Byrne story, but I add that you argued about his big stupid suit, and you end up punching his talking head teeth out. The David Byrne story is, I was a disc jockey, I think I was in North Carolina, and I used to think it was funny when he would dance, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he comes to the station, it's a huge concert, right? And I tell him how funny I think he is, and he goes, what do you mean? And I say, when you're dancing.
That's the story of your life. You go one step forward, totally thinking you're doing the right thing, and you just run smack into a wall.
I couldn't believe how seriously he took himself. I really couldn't. And
He's
the talking,
dick, that guy, man.
It's sold out, right? And when he would move his arms, like that, and I would die laughing. I'd go, God, that is so, it's cutting edge. You know what I mean? It's like that you would do, it would be like the Seinfeld episode when Elaine danced. I mean, that's where they got it from, believe it or not.
Jay's like, Jay's telling him, you're the next Jerry Lewis with your dancing.
I did. I said, and he went nuts. And he got mad, and the interview ended abruptly and everything. But then this guy tells the story, I don't know if he uses my name, and says that I even made fun of his suit, and I ended up punching him out. Last night, I told her I was going to invite you to dinner the next time you're in Louisiana. Her response was, you're not having that crazy bastard over to our house. No way, mister. All right, I don't know.
You should go over there and just pretend to get really upset.
Craziest email I've ever had. Dave Williamson. The story of yours I like to repeat is your $50 $200 hooker story from Las Vegas. Oh, that's when the hooker, who I had a fight with my second wife, I go down to the bar and I'm having a drink, but I don't know she's a hooker. And I'm talking to her, and she ends up being a hooker, right?
I
say something, would you like to go out sometime or whatever? And yes, and he says, oh yeah, right. And she says she wants $200. And I go, what? I go, you got to be kidding me. First of all, I'm insulted, right? And I said, I wouldn't give you anything more than $50. So she gets up and leaves. Later, I come down with my wife. We made up. And the hooker says to me, you see what you get for $50? That's a true story. It sounds like a joke.
Wow.
Anyway, next time you or Shuli are in Vegas, or if Garrett goes to Vegas, go to the bar in the middle of the casino at the Hard Rock.
Yeah.
It has a dome ceiling that's like a cathedral, which if you are positioned just right, you can hear people directly across from you talking, as if they were next to you. Me and a couple of buddies listened to a hooker trying to convince a guy to part with some cash, and these people were only about 50 feet across from me, okay? Be careful, because what's said in Vegas might not stay in Vegas. Now, have you been to that bar?
Oh, yeah. I've been there a bunch of times, and it's you ever see the shark tank that's like circular, and the sharks just keep swimming in circles?
Right.
That's like a hooker tank. That center bar, they're just swarming around. They just keep walking around, and on the weekends, forget it. All the dudes show up there to drink, to party. And
it's hookers, though, isn't it?
I mean, but they're mixed in with regular chicks, too. So it is a little confusing, but here's my tip. If they really want to hang out with you, they're a whore. That's usually the way it works out. Especially the first time they ever meet you,
Jerry Hart says you had Mike Ditka on the other day, and you were asking him about coaching, and you should have asked him why coaches from his day suck so bad when they try again with a new team. When he coached the Bears, there wasn't a free agency in the NFL, and he takes over a losing team with the Saints, and before his first season, he took his vacation during the first week of free agency, and he was quoted as saying, "Who's out there better than anybody we have?" He's a complete dumbass. His book ought to be called Fuck the Coach. Oh, God.
I've heard stories of that old Bears team just kind of doing whatever the hell they wanted, and he just...
And they won, right?
Yeah. I don't know, I could be wrong.
Stephen Brandt. I create movie trivia for Champs Restaurant, spelled CHAMPPS, restaurant and bar in Maple Grove, Minnesota.
I hate when listeners call in or write in and brag.
Tonight, one of my questions will be name this actor, and I put up a picture of you. Wonder how many people will actually know who you are. You prick. You prick. And finally, from Rick Schwartz, you mentioned Jean Lafitte, the pirate from Louisiana. He was Jewish, Shuli. He was raised by his Jewish grandmother, whose original name was Lafito, a Sephardic Jew from Spain, and he married a Jewish girl named Christiana Levine. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true.
Martha Schwartzberg.
Yeah, watch this. And he comes out with the sword and the whole thing. All righty now.
He comes out.
You goy are in for it.
He slides down the sail.
Yeah, never heard that. Look that up. Hey, it's the Jay Thomas Show. A guy that makes money writing, sending in commercial ideas. Did you ever see the movie, the commercial, was it the commercial queen? The contest winner of Defiance, Ohio, the woman that supported her family by writing jingles. This guy, a Jewish fellow, Joel Levinson, writes unsolicited television spots, and the companies buy them. He enters all these contests. He's next on the Jay Thomas Show with Shuli at Sirius 108 and XM 130.
My water cooler's name is Corey. My water cooler and I love to chat. My water cooler was disappointed with Superman 3 when it watched it on its Betamax. My water cooler thinks Kenny Loggins rocks and has a poster of Samantha Fox. My water cooler loves to dance all night. My water cooler loves to feel alright. Water cooler's got to swing by his dojo after work, but if you want to hang out after that, we'll probably be at the mall. My water cooler loves to dance all night.
Jay Thomas Show. The afternoon drive show on the new Stars 2. Sirius 108 and XM 139. The new Stars 2. Sirius 108 XM 139. Infinity 6 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. East. Sirius 6 West. On Me and Vinny replay directly after the show. Maxim Radio with Covino and Rich. Noon to 3 p.m. East, 9 a.m. to noon West. Maxim Radio with Covino and Rich replay from 9 till midnight East. The Jay Thomas Show. 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. East. The Jay Thomas Show replay starts at 6 p.m. East. The New Stars 2. The New Stars 2. The New Stars 2. Sirius 108 and XM 139.
My boss said you're the man for the job.
I'm unavailable.
You have 10 seconds to change your mind.
I'll give you 5 seconds to remove your hand.
On November 26th.
You want to tell me what this is all about?
When you go past 75 feet from the car. Complete the mission.
Think we're playing games? A little late for warnings, don't you think?
Save your life.
They're going to kill us!
You really should think more positive.
Jason Statham, Transporter 3, rated PG-13. Some material may be inappropriate for children under 13. In theaters everywhere November 26th.
Do you want to get connected with a wireless laptop, but your credit score is holding you back? Does everyone else have one except you? We can help. Guaranteed. We'll send you a brand new wireless laptop no matter what your credit history looks like. There's no credit check. Call Tronics Country now for a brand new Dell or HP laptop. Call now and we'll include a free MP3 player and free LCD TV with built-in tuner and speakers with your paid order. Call 800-990-2216. Still not sure? Then hear what our customers say.
I'm really enjoying my laptop.
I just wanted to call to say how happy I am with it. And I'm very pleased with their service, so I would suggest to anyone that is looking for computers or trying to find computers, Tronics is the best place to call.
Our customers know. Call now. You will not be turned down. Call 800-990-2216. 800-990-2216. That's 800-990-2216.
You can live truly debt-free on just the money you already make using my proven system. Let me send you a free tape today that shows you how. Hi, I'm John Commuta, creator of the Transforming Debt into Wealth system. My system doesn't consolidate your debt, it eliminates it, no matter how much debt you have.
I'm completely debt-free now thanks to John Commuta.
Call now and I'll rush you my free tape. Call 1-800-933-1951. That's 1-800-933-1951. 1-800-933-1951.
The Jay Thomas Show. Jay Thomas. Stars 2. The curious. The extreme. The fascinating. Jay Thomas is on the new Stars 2. Sirius 108 and XM 139.
Green Day. You can play a little JTX too. My son, JT, out there listening. For those of you who don't know, the Jay Thomas Show gave one of my kids away, and I was on every talk show in America. I recommend that, by the way, for those of you that are thinking about a career in show business. Give those kids away. They will weight you down. Those early marriages and those kids weight you down. Get rid of them. And then years later, they come back. It happened to David Crosby. It's happened to any number of actors and actresses. The little bastard comes back, and right when your career is just over the top and heading down into the volcano, you pop it back up again because one of your little illegitimates comes back. It works. Joel Levinson, welcome to the Jay Thomas Show with Shuley. How are you, Joel? Joel Levinson. Did you hang up on him, Sean?
Sean hung up on him again. Hold on. Yeah, try that.
Joel, I'm so sorry. I'm so
It's okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly.
Hey, all right, great.
Yeah,
great.
Yeah. Now, what was that movie, the contest winner of Defiance, Ohio, that I thought was great? Did you see it?
I actually haven't seen it, which I feel terrible about because I hear about it all the time now.
Well, it's a great movie about this woman, and of course, Woody Harrelson plays the husband that was a drunk, and she saved her family by writing like the Double Mint commercial, and I mean, she really did. And I didn't even think this stuff existed. So give us a little history about how you basically make a living writing commercials. How did it happen for you?
So there's this whole thing with, a lot of different companies are trying to get online content and, online little video content and stuff like that. And I know how to work a camera, and I know how to write little songs that are catchy. So I started throwing them together and making videos, and I've won 12 so far. So I've traveled to like 6 continents for free. I won over, I guess total cash and prizes. I'm just over $210,000 now this year so far.
Well, now we heard a few minutes ago the water cooler commercial.
Excellent.
And the water cooler commercial, you saw, I guess, like a contest for Best Western. Is that right?
Yeah, it was a Best Western contest saying, it was targeted towards like offices and office people, saying do something, show us something about the 80s and your water cooler. So I wrote a little song. Oops. I'm sorry if there's noise. I'm on the streets of New York because I don't really have a place to be.
Well, don't worry. We're going to hang up on you in a minute anyway, so don't worry.
Fair enough.
Sean will cut you off. Right when you're saying something really interesting, you'll be cut off. We'll be able to find you again. Yes, go ahead.
That means you have faith in me saying something interesting, so thank you very much.
Sure. So you produce it like in your room or in a studio? Where do you produce these things?
No, I don't have any money for a studio. It's just I go into my apartment bedroom. I grab a microphone and a guitar, I try to write something a little catchy, and then I go out into my living room and film it half the time. Usually it takes a couple of hours, and that one won me 1 million Best Western points, which is 4.5 months of free stays at a Best Western if I won it.
Okay, let's listen to it again. So they wanted something that would promote Best Western on the internet.
No, they didn't. I mean, yeah, like in theory, they wanted something that promotes Best Western. I don't even mention Best Western. I just sing about I just make fun of my water cooler as though it was from the 80s.
He basically sent a song parody into Best Western and won.
And what do you think the competition was? How many other people do you think sent stuff?
That one, I don't think there were too many. I don't know. Maybe there's on that one maybe like 20, 30, something like that.
Well, that's nothing. I would think it'd be thousands. Right.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. I mean, there's this Klondike one that I won. I think there were 700 entries or something like that. So it was a nice chunk of entries.
Okay, well, we'll talk to you about the Klondike one, because did you go to the Arctic for the Klondike?
I went to the Arctic because I won one with Nature Valley granola bars, and they sent me to the Arctic on a cruise for 2 weeks. And while I was there,
you went to the Arctic for somebody else's contest. You filmed something for Klondike, and you won their contest.
Yes.
That's what I call multitasking right there.
I love
Good for
Joel
you.
Levinson, ladies and gentlemen, and you're not gainfully employed right now. Is that true?
That is correct. My last job was graveyard shift front desk worker at a 24-hour fitness, and I quit that about 7 months ago.
By the way, I'm a member of 24-Hour Fitness. Whenever I go in at 3 in the morning, they're screwing. I know they are, because there's nobody at the desk or whatever. So, all right.
The filthiest people in the world are in there at 3 in the morning. But I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you.
That's okay. Go ahead. Let's listen again to the water cooler song that we heard a few minutes ago.
You can breakdance to this if you want.
My water cooler's name is Corey. My water cooler and I love to chat. My water cooler was disappointed with Superman 3 when it watched it on its Betamax. My water cooler thinks Kenny Loggins rocks and has a poster of Samantha Fox. My water cooler loves to dance all night. My water cooler loves to be alright. Water cooler's got to swing by his dojo after work, but if you want to hang out after that, we'll probably be at the mall. Water cooler loves to dance all night.
Now, did you sing backup for yourself, or somebody help you?
No, that's the thing about what I do, is that I can't really, there's not really anybody who wants to help out too often, so it's just me and a microphone and a computer, and I do the editing and I do the filming. Most of the time the camera's on a tripod, and it's just me in front of it trying to make myself laugh.
So how did you win the contest that got you to the Arctic?
So Nature Valley Granola Bar asked, what's your favorite place in the world? To get away into nature and that kind of thing. And I looked through, a bunch of people did really serious ones about how they need to escape and they go to the Green Mountains or Mount Baldy or whatever. And I looked through my little online, my pictures on my computer, and I had the most pictures of Maine. So I threw them together in a slideshow, and I wrote a song called My Favorite Place is Maine. And it's about a minute and a half, and that won me like $60,000 worth of cruises.
Now, that doesn't even sound that inventive. My favorite place is Maine. You know what I mean?
Well, I think you'll find it surprisingly catchy.
Do we have My Favorite Place is Maine? Do we have that one?
I think we do.
Huh? We might have.
I've been to White Sands, New Mexico, when the gypsum sands aglow. I've been on cruises with the fam. Here's me being annoying on the boat. I visited the Grand Canyon with my dad, who got mad I didn't bring a coat. Chicago's nice, but I need somewhere more remote. My favorite place is Maine, where the waves crash hard, and the blueberries taste so good you feel like Violet Beauregard. My favorite place is Maine. My favorite place is Maine. I've been to London, Rome, and Washington, Nashville, and San Antone. I used to live in New York. Now I call LA my home. But I can only take so much city living before I need a couple days 'neath the trees on the Atlantic's rocky bays. My favorite place is Maine. I'm dying to go back. I've been with friends and once with my mom who looks hilarious in this hat. My favorite place is Maine, where lighthouses shine. And in no time our RV smelled remarkably like pine. My favorite place is Maine. You know I love it so. And here's some baby pictures as I pander for your votes. My favorite place is Maine. Is lighthouses, pine trees. Wow. He's really into Maine. John Irving books. Reasonably priced lobsters. His favorite place is Maine. He's really into Maine. The show Murder, She Wrote, which I was never into, but my grandma Rose totally loved. His favorite place is Maine. He's really into Maine. Wow. When I need time to maintain, I want to spend my time in Maine. I wish that I could go today. My nature that may get away.
All right. There you go. Now, what website can I send my kids to and everybody else?
HappyJoel.com is the one where everything is posted, and I'm in a contest right now to have Crazy Glue send me to Maui for 5 days, so I'll take a blind date on that and try to fall in love.
And then, so you go on the cruise, you end up in the Arctic, you get off of the boat, and and you film for Klondike. That became a video, basically, right?
Yeah. There was 3 weeks before I left for the Arctic, I was going to a place called Svalbard, which is known as the land of the polar bears. And Klondike announces this contest, and their mascot is the polar bear. So I'm like, this is too perfect. So I just wrote a song, and then I get there, and then who else is going to have footage of live wild polar bears in their video to try to win this? So that won me $100,000.
Do we have it? Do we have that? So we run it before we go home, Garrett.
Klondike Bar and $100,000. I travel the world, Klondike in hand. Klondike Bar at the Empire State Building. Klondike Bar neath the Hollywood sign. Klondike Bar at the Washington Monument.
I like them because they all sound different.
Klondike Bar.
Yeah, they're all entirely different.
Oh, yeah.
I need my Klondike Bar in the Arctic in front of the polar bears.
I mean, really.
Klondike Bar in the Arctic in front of the polar bears. Klondike Bar with my family. Klondike Bar with my friends.
Now, Joel, this would lead me to believe that some of the most untalented people in the world went against you. Because, it's almost the same tune, Joel, every time.
Well, I'm a firm believer in late 80s, early 90s pop rock music theory.
Yeah.
So I like about 5 chords. I like to use the shit. Excuse a lot of them. I'm sorry.
No, you can say that. Hey, is there any way
you could say it's Sirius Satellite XM?
Oh yeah. I can use it. Yes. So I like to use the shit out of those chords.
We're introducing this show to a brand new audience. I would love you don't have to do it right now, but would you make a commercial for Jay Thomas on Sirius 108 XM 139?
Yeah. Do you want me to come? Are you in New York?
Yeah.
I'm in New York. I'll be there the week of the 16th of December, that entire week.
You come in and do it live.
Would you do it live, and then I'll run it as my official jingle?
Yeah, I live in L.A. now, so I'll just fly back. I'm in New York seeing my brother. I'll fly back here for that week. I'll come. I'll write you anything. If you put.
But wait a minute. You live in L.A. Well, I broadcast from Santa Barbara, so we'll just figure it out.
Oh, easy. Whatever you want from me, I'd be honored to do it.
You mean you would fly to New York for the Christmas week?
Jay, all he's got to do is write a thing for Fancy Feast, and they'll fly him out here or something.
Joel, I can't wait till you write my official personal jingle. Thank you, Joel Levinson. Go to happyjoel.com. Shuli, I'll talk to you later on, at least Friday morning or so.
Yes, sir.
Don't forget, Shuli will join me for Jay Thomas and Friends. He'll be the headliner at Caroline's. Go to carolines.com or call him and get your tickets. It's right there on Broadway for December 18th. The Jay Thomas Show. XM 139, Sirius 108. He was funny.
Now on Sirius and XM, you can hear the funniest comedy on radio. There's something for everyone on Laugh USA.
John Madden actually said this. Here's a guy who, when he puts his contacts in, he can see better.
For the adults, there's Jeff Foxworthy and Larry the Cable Guy on Blue Collar Radio. It's all on uncensored on Raw Dog.
I love my dog. I'm not rubbing cream on his. I'm Jamie Foxx.
And from executive producer Jamie Foxx,
The Foxhole.
Music and entertainment.
Everything worth listening to is now on Sirius and XM. Find out more at Sirius.com or XMRadio.com.
What would you do for a Klondike bar?
Oh, what would I do for a Klondike bar? Oh, man. I'd run errands all day instead of watching the game. I'd even cancel poker night and have dinner with my mother-in-law. You know, I don't know what it is. The thick chocolatey shell, the rich creamy vanilla ice cream center, the square shape and silver foil. I guess you could say there's plenty I'd do for the crazy good taste of a Klondike bar. It's available in vanilla, chocolate, and 11 other awesome flavors.
What would you do for a Klondike bar?
So you want to stop smoking? Well, you could try the nicotine patch or gums to find out they have a success rate of 7% and no refunds when it doesn't work 93% of the time. Here's a better option. It's called All Natural Smoke Free, and it's a complete stop smoking program with no caffeine or nicotine. And here's the best part. You can try it free. Grab a pen and take this number down. 1-800-218-0291 to get your free order of All Natural Smoke Free. Call 1-800-218-0291. 1-800-218-0291.
Look for the bare necessities.
The bare necessities of healthy living are easier than you think.
You better believe it.
And the Food Pyramid shows you the way. With just the right amount of exercise and the necessary grains, vegetables, fruits, milk, and meats and beans.
Just the bare necessities of life.
So eat right, be active, and have fun.
Yeah, man.
For your own path to a healthier you, visit mypyramid.gov.
This is really living.
This message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Agriculture and the Ad Council.
In the next 30 seconds, you're about to become armed and dangerous. What will be your weapon of choice? Questions that expose and scare off predatory mortgage lenders. Questions like,
Are these all the costs?
Am I eligible for a lower interest rate?
if you're